Today, but as first, I want to thank everybody for coming in, and if you could hit just the little like button down below, it helps out immensely, especially on YouTube. So we do have guests today, so I'll be bringing them in, and yeah, it's gonna be Kurt and Cristin from PETCLUB247, and of course Dina. So we're gonna have them come in now. And of course, Dina. Oh,
Hi, guys.
so we're gonna
Hey.
have them come now. And of course, we got feedback on your end, Dina.
Hi, guys.
So we're gonna
Hey.
have them come now. Well, if you want to come in here, you can. I mean, just across the hall. You gotta love this, right?
Hey,
How you guys doing?
we get it, man.
Oh man, it's
Doing
just
great.
technology, and she's getting really good at it. Me, I don't even want to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm happy I have Cristin because the same for me.
Yeah, not at all. So hopefully she'll be in here in a second. Should be. So how are you guys doing?
Doing good. How you been?
Oh, splendid. Splendid, I guess. We'll just say, I guess. We'll just roll with that. So, all positivity. All
Great.
positivity. So, yep.
Lots going on right now, isn't there?
Oh, a lot.
It won't let me.
You come in here.
Oh.
All right. Sorry about the background, guys, but here is Dina.
Hello.
Hey,
Thanks.
Dina.
The background.
Yeah, it's a lot better than ours. We're in a hotel
Yeah.
right now, so.
Like a lot to work with.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Which, well,
Yeah. Yeah. We don't want to dox anybody. Say, hey,
Yeah.
so where are you?
We can talk about that vague
Yeah.
thing later.
Yeah. So, how is everything? Is there anything new going on with PETCLUB247?
Yeah. So I was telling Dina, we do have a new product for dogs with sensitive teeth or gums. That's like the mush puppies, but they're easy chew. So that way, because all our treats are dental treats. So they're purposefully baked longer to keep their teeth like healthy and strong and scrape off the tartar and the plaque and all that type of stuff. But for the dogs with the sensitive teeth, people are having to crumble them up or like add water to them for them to be able to eat it. So we made some easy chew ones for them.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I've had a few friends reach out and say they get them wet, moisten them up, so they'll break up a little bit easier. But
Yeah.
hey, Louis still doing great.
Oh,
There.
We try to get light. Try to get more
he is doing really good.
Yeah, really good.
No scratching, no itching, no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like help something.
Yeah.
Big time.
Big time. That's a big deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we just got our order, what, 2 days ago?
Yeah, 2 days ago. Yesterday
Yeah, with the,
with the packs.
you
And
can
I'm-
say it. I still can't
Oh,
pronounce it.
the-
The
Versa-
Coriolis Versa
Yes, that one. That one.
that
That one.
always gets me.
Yeah.
It always gets me.
It always does. I look at it, I'm like, okay, it's green and yellow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
That's what we say. We're
Green
like,
bottle and a yellow bottle. Which
Yeah.
one?
get the green bottle and the blue bottle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we've had some feedback from a few. One, not so much they got it for specific reasons, but they just wanted to know they're doing the right thing as far as for their pets' health,
Mhm.
and everybody has had great feedback. The one thing that they've worried about was that you and Cristin talked about it. What was the name of it?
Oh.
That other ingredient that is in a lot of things.
Oh, what was it? And everybody's up in arms about it.
Yeah.
So was it silver?
Oh, silicone dioxide.
Yes,
Silicone dioxide.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, people don't know that's a naturally occurring element. That's like a major component of everything. Like it's naturally in animals, plants, it's in people. It's
Yeah.
something that's all around us and in everything. So as long as you're getting it naturally sourced, as long as it's not like artificial or synthetic, the body knows what to do with it and how to use it.
Yeah.
Problem comes, and this has been the issue with everything, is when they take these natural minerals and elements and things that have been around forever that are part of creation, and when they're made in labs, and then it's pure, or it has these artificial elements, and then when it goes into the body doesn't know how to metabolize it because it's not natural, and then that's when the issues occur. So as long as it's natural sourcing, then it's in everything. It's not only fine, it's actually good for you.
Yeah. And you're actually using it so things don't clump together, right?
Right. Mhm.
Right. Okay.
That's the last
Yeah.
thing you need.
No clumping.
No.
No
You
clumping.
want to get it broken up and
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and but that's another thing people don't understand in the manufacturing process is that like you have to use flow agents, and you have to keep the machinery from gumming up, and you need to keep the biomass from sticking together so that the dosing's really consistent through the tablets or through the capsules. But what do you use, right? Like what do you use for the anti-caking and the flow, better flow and all of that? So what we chose to use are trace amounts of already naturally occurring minerals that are present in a lot of the everyday foods that we're eating and a lot of the things that we're already familiar with. So that way, if we have to use those types of agents to help with the processing, we at least want them to be natural.
Yeah. And like you said, keyword naturally resourced, right? So there we
Mhm.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
it definitely helps out them. I mean, it has helped him out so much. I mean, it's like night and day.
Still.
I
So-
mean, he doesn't, because usually he'd be up like, scratch a little bit, or it's not fleas or anything.
No.
And he just starts scratching because it'll be the wintertime he'll start scratching. It's like, what's the deal? But then once we started giving him that, it's like, wow.
And
Like-
really, it was like overnight.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing. And I love all of the stuff that's coming out right now on the food and the nutrition, that we're getting and that our pets are getting, and what's been allowed and how poorly regulated it's been for so long. I love that all of this is coming out because we've just accepted that this is normal. Like I remember feeling bad my whole life, not realizing that I felt bad. Like I didn't even know that I felt bad until I felt good. And I was
Right.
like, wait a minute, this is how I was supposed to, like, I've always had stomach cramps and exhaustion and like all of those things my whole life,
Yeah.
all because of the foods I was eating. And I didn't realize it at the time.
Yeah.
So when I started taking the mushroom and my immune system started getting supported, and then I started wanting better foods and started being more natural with everything that I was doing. And I feel amazing now. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what was supposed to be like the whole time.
Yeah.
Had no idea. Since I was a child, I felt that way.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Let's go get those 2 bottles so we can show everybody what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Cause, I mean, I absolutely love it. I mean, those capsules, I mean, cause we were taking them, 5 twice a day,
Mhm.
and then the 2 in the morning. So, and we stayed on the whole regiment and feeling better.
Yeah.
Just, it's just like the different kind of pains that you have, like getting older,
Mhm.
starting to realize that, hitting a wall with that. So, sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you definitely want to take them, because you when you're taking them long term, you're going to feel 10 years younger, and more energy, more everything.
Yeah. Well, this is what we're taking. Oh,
Okay.
are we going to have struggle
Yep.
here?
I think you got to hold it in front of you.
Nope. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
The green one.
Mhm.
And it is Coriolis versicolor.
Mm-hmm.
That's by Inforce.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the green one. See, green bottle.
Yeah. And these are the ones that are in a capsule, and you can actually crack them open into your pet's food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is the Inforce Plus
Mhm.
with the Coriolis versicolor. And it's a yellow bottle. So
And that one has the reishi too. So that's really helpful for like blood pressure regulation, blood sugar regulation, cholesterol, all of those types of things. It's an alkalinizing mushroom.
Alkaline. We love alkaline.
Mhm.
We've got
Yeah.
here's a
Yeah.
great testimonial for you guys. We have a lady that sells these in her health shop, and she lives by the Amish, and the Amish come in and buy a lot of product from her. And one came in, this is a little over a month ago, and their daughter, she's 8 years old, eight, right?
Mhm.
And she her ears have been plugged up. She can't hear
For years.
for years, full of liquid. They've tried everything that the Amish know how to do,
Right.
and we're about to resort to traditional medicine, which is what they don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And,
They're
so
going to have to do a surgery where they put the tubes in her ears. And
Oh,
they do everything natural, so they were really concerned about the plastic being inside of her head.
yeah.
So she recommended that Inforce right there, the Coriolis versicolor. And 4 days after taking her right ear, she woke up and it was soaking wet, and she could actually hear again. She hadn't
Yeah,
been able to
pillow
hear
was
in
wet.
years. She could hear, but not well, but still she could finally hear again. And
Yeah.
10 days later, completely back to normal. Both sides
Both sides
drained,
drained out.
and she's doing phenomenal. Now it's
She can
been,
hear.
close to 40 days, but she's doing phenomenal.
And she's funny because her ears have been plugged for so long. So
Yeah.
when people are just regular talking, she's like, "Why is everybody yelling?"
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine.
It's so loud.
Imagine that.
And, oh, that's gonna be terrible,
Yeah. Take her a while to adjust.
man.
Mhm. Isn't that
Was it-
incredible? I'm so happy. I'm so
Yeah.
happy she hasn't
Yeah.
had surgery.
No, hey, mushrooms, the fungi, right?
Oh, we
What
do have
question?
a question. Will the Inforce Plus affect a drug test?
Oh no.
No,
So these are
no.
not those kinds of mushrooms.
No, not those kind.
Great question.
Those kind.
We
Yeah,
should clarify.
yeah.
These
Good
are just-
question, though. Yeah.
yeah, these are just edible mushrooms, no different from a mushroom that you would eat on a salad. It's just like a regular mushroom or a mushroom on a pizza. So it doesn't interact with any medications or treatments. The Coriolis versicolor mushroom can't get addicted, can't overdose. There are no side effects. As a matter of fact, it's probably really good for your body to be detoxing and getting anything out of it that's not
Yeah.
supposed to be in there.
Right. Sometimes you have the effect of it'll get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, we do have some people, unfortunately, that just have like a toxic overload in their body. It's just bombarded and the immune system's so overwhelmed. So then when it gets this extra support, that's one of the first things that it does is it goes in and it cleans out the body, it purges, gets all of that bad stuff out that has just been stuck inside the body for so long. And that can feel like different things, like some people almost equate it to like anytime you detox, almost kind of like getting a flu, where you feel it. You can feel stuff like toxins coming out of your skin or some, whatever might happen. But the great thing about when your body does a purge like that or a detox like that is it's difficult to go through. It only lasts like a couple days at the most. But once you're on the other side of it, you feel amazing.
Right.
Like you feel so clean and pure. It's unbelievable. My body actually did that a long time ago. I went through a purge, and I think it was about 3 days. And once I was on the other side of it, I couldn't even believe how good I felt. And it just clears out everything. It's really great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Going back to gets worse before it gets
Gets
better.
better.
And then it's better. Okay, so we do have a question. What do you recommend for a dog with lymphatic cancer? Did order the Inforce capsules and give one a day.
How big is that? How much does the dog weigh?
Hey Brent, how much does your dog weigh? I'll have to.
Because we
Let us
want to
know.
do what we recommend is at least one capsule for every 50 pounds. But
Okay.
especially if they're going through something like that, they probably need some extra minerals in their
Okay.
system to help their body not only fight against that, but like repair and rebuild it. So I recommend the special sauce as well, doing that along with that extra Inforce capsule. So they're not only getting the Coriolis versicolor, but they're also getting those additional minerals and vitamins and antioxidants to help the body.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He just said 75 pounds.
Okay, great.
So we want to go two?
Yeah, so he could do 2 enforced capsules a day, and then at least a tablespoon, if not 2 tablespoons of the special sauce every day.
Okay.
All you do is you just mix it in with their food. Like you can do it morning and night. Especially if they have wet food, they like you just mix it in with the wet food, they can't tell the difference. But even if you don't and you just mix it with the dry, especially a 75-pound dog will probably just chew it right up anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
They're not
realize
finished.
it's there.
That's 75 pounds. They're
It's like
not.
putting food in front of us. It's like, what is that? I don't care. You know,
It's food.
it's
Eat
edible.
now, ask questions later.
Yep.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So,
Man.
yeah. So, is there was there one more question that
Well, no, she answered it with the 1 capsule per 50 pounds. So,
okay. Let me see if there's any more questions
yeah,
because
there may
yeah.
be.
Let's see. Have either one of you heard of Linatone? Used to be in all farm stores.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
What
Have
is
you
it?
heard of Linatone? No.
It was probably something really good for us, and we need to
And they
quit.
took it off the shelves.
Yeah.
They were like, what is this? People and animals are getting helped?
Yeah.
Remove it immediately.
So terrible. I mean, it's sad too because nobody ever thinks about the animals.
I know.
You know, I mean, when you have to take it to a vet, then you realize this is expensive. But if you do everything like preventative,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Proactive.
yeah,
Mhm.
instead of just and plus, is it horse liniment? Oh, the what was it called?
Linatone.
Linatone? No, the horse
Oh.
liniment. That's absorbing.
So it's for healthy skin and shiny coat. Well, that's exactly what the special sauce does. We have something called special sauce, and it's the minerals that they need. And it also has like the omega-3, 6, and 9, and the zinc, and a lot of the other nutrients that the body needs is already in the special sauce.
Yeah.
So not only will they get that Coriolus versicolor mushroom for the immune support, but it actually does help with their skin and coat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we saw that. That's Louis.
Yeah, you saw firsthand.
Yeah.
Big
we
time.
did.
I was shocked. Because I mean, people could, anybody could say that, oh yeah, it's gonna work. Until you see it work, you're like,
Yep.
oh,
Yeah.
And you
this
could
is
hear
some
this.
good stuff.
You could hear the stories and you're like, wow, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. But then when you see it with your own eyes, it's like, whoa, it was like they were for real.
Yeah. Something totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, it just gets nuts. I mean, when you see like even any animal, even humans, I mean, once you see them going from a complete crashed out sense to up and bouncing around, you're like, that's well worth it. You're putting extra years on your friend.
Yep.
You want to do
Exactly.
that.
Yeah. That being proactive.
Yeah, they can't tell us what's wrong.
No.
I mean, if they could, it'd be a lot easier.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Then we'd have a
what's
bunch
so
of
great
animals talking.
That's what's so great about the immune support is that would be amazing if all the animals talk.
Until it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, until they snitch.
Yeah, they
One of them's gonna snitch.
Yep.
But what's so amazing about the immune system is like a lot of times us as pet parents or even veterinarians or doctors, we can look at the symptoms, we can look at what we think they're experiencing, we can make guesses as to what we think is going wrong in their body, but we don't actually truly know, like 100%. In a lot of cases, we're just kind of using deductive reasoning and trying to figure it all out. But their immune system knows, like it knows exactly what's wrong. It knows exactly what to do to fix it. So it takes all the guesswork out of it for us. Hey, just feed them foods that feed their immune system, which God designed for them to build immunity in their bodies, to repair and rebuild and regulate and restore and rebalance everything that's happening inside of the body. It's so intelligently designed, and God built it that way. So why not just eat the foods that God has already given us that help the systems do what God designed them to do? And then we think like, wow, what a miracle. Like what a miracle this thing happened or that thing happened. And God's up there like, oh, no, this is my plan. This is like the natural order of things all along. You guys just kind of went away from it for a while.
Yeah.
But we're returning. That's the good
Yeah.
point. We're rediscovering and we're returning back to the way it was intended to be.
Yeah. And it seems like there's so many more areas in the world that do it that way. But America, mm,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm.
they had to pump the brakes on it because everybody's got to make money and
Yeah.
poison us. So
Yeah.
I mean, at least we're realizing it now, and we're
Yes.
so we do have another question. My dog Mario is struggling with liver inflammation. He's
Mhm.
14 and a half years old. What do you recommend? He wants to eat, but everything gives him diarrhea.
Yeah. Oh, so he needs some help with his gut as well, the microbiome. So I would do the special sauce in that instance too. Just get the dog special sauce, and the Coriolus versicolor mushroom. It not only supports the immune system, but it actually acts as a prebiotic as well, and helps to restore the microbiome and rebalance it. So it'll go in and it'll get rid of the good bacteria, or sorry, the bad bacteria. We want to keep the good bacteria.
Yeah.
To get rid of the bad bacteria, help the good bacteria have a better environment to grow in. And once the microbiome is restored, then the things like diarrhea or constipation or whatever it may be will resolve themselves by default. So I would definitely get the special sauce for him.
Okay.
And even get a bottle of the Enforce and
Yeah.
and have them take at least one capsule a day, mix it in.
Or, we have a canned food as well that might be really good for him. It has prebiotics and probiotics on top of the Coriolus versicolor mushroom in it. So you can get that with the special sauce, and he'll love it because he'll be getting a treat, just mix in a
Yeah.
little bit of the special sauce in with the wet food once or twice a day, and you'll start noticing a difference pretty quickly.
Great advice.
See, another
And
one. Oh,
sorry.
I have a 12-year-old lab. He has bad arthritis, especially at joints. What would be best for him? Elbows are the worst. He does have some muscle loss in his hips. Help. I love this dog.
Mm.
Yeah, poor
Mhm.
baby. I would do, in that case, I would actually do the mush ponies, even though they're horse treats for a larger dog like a lab. It'll
Mhm.
give him not only the Coriolus versicolor mushroom, but it has some glucosamine and carotene and chondroitin to help with that hip and bone and joint support that he really, really needs. And then on top of that, if you want to give him some of that special sauce as well, so he gets more of those minerals. And that'll help with the inflammation too.
And he'll notice a big difference, and he did a great job. A 14-and-a-half-year-old lab.
Yeah.
That's a great
You're a good
job
parent.
raising him, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. But that's why we have a 30-day money back guarantee. He starts getting on this, he should notice some great differences, typically within just a few days to
Yeah.
up to 2 weeks, but he'll notice some differences. Should see that lab, he'll should seem like he's a few years younger after he gets
Yeah.
on this. Yeah.
Here's another one. What do you have to help a dog with Cushing's?
Mhm. Same, the Coriolus versicolor mushroom, it's not an immune booster, it's an immune modulator. So we've seen dogs with Cushing's, horses with Cushing's. Once their immune system gets that support, it's able to modulate itself, and it actually repairs the DNA and helps it go back to the original blueprint. So
Wow.
yeah, so if it's a larger dog, again, I would do the mush ponies because they can get more, it's more cost effective. Anyone that has large dogs, the mush ponies are a lot more cost effective because you can just give them one biscuit or half of a biscuit every day and it'll save you more money. Or you can get like multiple bags of the mush puppies if you want and give them multiple treats a day, just however you want to do it. But if you do those mush ponies along with the special sauce, it should make a big difference in them.
And we learned that by default.
Mm-hmm.
We had this product and in Boulder City, which is just outside of Henderson, Nevada,
Yeah.
there was a herpes outbreak that horses get. And when that happens, it'll just kill
All of them, the whole stable
the whole
usually.
stable. And
Oh,
so
wow.
they still use the mounted patrol officers in Boulder City, and 6 of them had died on that weekend. We got the mushroom out to them. They started giving it to him, turned it completely around. The outbreak was gone, but one of their lead horses, Odie, he had a terrible Cushing's issue, and most of the time with Cushing's, there's nothing they can do for Cushing's, and this turned him around
It
within
affects
3
their
weeks.
gait,
Yeah.
so they have trouble walking. And within just a couple of days, he was walking a lot better. 3 weeks later, Shania Twain came to Las Vegas to film a Fremont Street commercial. And she got to pick from all of the mounted patrol officers in the area, in the Las Vegas area, and she chose Odie, who 3
Nice.
weeks earlier couldn't even walk. And she chose him to ride down the Fremont Street Experience for the commercial.
Man, how cool is that?
Is that awesome?
We have a lot of farriers that are using this now, with their horses that are dealing with Cushing. So, hopefully this does a great job for.
Now, what is Cushing's? Is it like
It's autoimmune.
autoimmune?
Yeah.
Affects their hooves and yeah.
Mhm.
Man,
Okay, so we have a question from Miss Darlene. The special sauce, will it help? Her dog's name is Zeus. He's like 100. He's a big boy.
yeah.
He's on steroids, so he has stage 2 cancer. Not sure what kind of cancer. Do you have any recommendations? Would it help with him being on the steroids?
Oh yeah. It's just a food. It doesn't like everything that we have, all of our supplements, they're all natural foods, natural minerals, all naturally sourced. So it won't interact with any medications or treatments or anything else that they're doing. There's no side effects. So in that case, Zeus, what a perfect name for a 100-pound dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do the same thing, the mush ponies and the special sauce, and I would do at least 2 tablespoons a day of the special sauce.
But since he's dealing with stage 2 cancer, I would give him 2 Enforce a day, get a bottle of the Enforce and give him 2 a day along with it until that issue's resolved.
And that's the green bottle.
That's a green bottle.
What? Oh, sorry. He meant buy the green bottle.
Buy the green bottle, yeah.
Yeah.
Green bottle.
Yep.
All
They're
of them
just-
are called Enforce, but that's just the straight Enforce.
That was the
green
first
bottle.
one. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
And
Just
also,
open the capsule, put it in the food in the morning feeding, and the afternoon feeding would be the best way to do that.
shit's perfect right there.
Yeah, I mean, they're just little capsules. They pop right open.
We take them at the same time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're all taking at the same time. Let's go.
Yeah.
And Avupa, I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing the name wrong. I'm Avuhupa. Jason, I love you guys, and was wondering what it is that you give the dogs for itching and allergies.
Yeah.
Same.
The special
Yep.
sauce
The
and
special sauce and the
the Enforce.
Enforce.
Mhm. Yep.
The
And
sauce.
remember, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say the special sauce is what Louis 2-3 days was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, all the time people will ask us, will this help with this or that? And the answer, we can't really answer that, of course.
It's not a
But,
cure for anything.
Yeah, it
It's just
doesn't
a
cure, it
food.
doesn't mitigate, it doesn't
Yeah.
prevent, but it does affect the immune system. There's over 400 clinical studies and trials on this. And we have the proprietary way that it's extracted that we've controlled for over 25 years. No one's been able to synthesize it, duplicate it, and it gets the immune system modulating and operating effectively again, optimally again. And by doing so, that's where it goes in and helps with all different types of things that people are dealing with and pets are dealing with. So these are all good questions, and please keep them coming because we can talk about maybe some things we can add to it to help with. But
Yeah.
but that's why we keep saying, give them this and that. But we have some other things that we might recommend. So keep the questions coming, but just so people know.
Most definitely. And we have another one.
Yep.
What about a Jack Russell Terrier with a neck goiter?
Oh, yes. In that situation, of course, we want to do the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, but let me look up something really fast. Okay, so that's the enlarged thyroid gland. I just wanted to make sure that I was doing this right. So the immune system actually regulates hormone levels in the body. And so if there are too many hormones, too little hormones, in this case, which a hormone gland gets enlarged, whatever it may be, the immune system actually repairs and rebalances those types of things. So for a dog that small, I would just get the special sauce. You only need like a teaspoon a day. mix it in their food, and that will help them get their immune system working, especially if it's being caused by a thyroid issue, or even if the source of it is like an autoimmune deficiency, then the Coriolis versicolor mushroom will help to modulate the immune system, which will then be able to resolve that.
The goiter.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And was it legit B420? What up? What up? AJQ, we gave our dogs the chill. It's for 4th of July, and it really helped.
Yay! Those
That's
chill
great.
doggies are amazing. If your dog has anxiety, like separation anxiety, if they have depression, if they have dementia, if they're hyperactive, or, you know, they get way overexcited when family comes over or when they see something like hyperactivity, anything like that, the chill doggies can be really helpful for them. Even dogs with dementia. There are a lot of studies being done on how the lion's mane mushroom actually helps with dementia by giving the nerve and brain support that the body needs. So even, you know, people whose dogs have dementia, recommend the chill doggies for them. Can be really helpful.
That's great.
That's awesome. I mean,
Cristin?
especially on the 4th of July. It's
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
that's the
Blue
worst
barks at 'em.
day. That's when the most runaways happen.
Yeah.
They go into fight or flight, and they don't know what to do. We have a dog that started hearing the fireworks and got so scared that they tried to run through the glass and ended up breaking their nose.
Oh,
Yeah, and it just breaks my heart. So I'm so glad. Thank you for giving your pup the chill doggies before
Yeah.
the scary fireworks started, because they don't know what's going on. They just hear
Yeah.
loud noises. They have no idea where it's coming from or what it is. So I'm so glad that you got that for them and that it was helpful.
Good job, Brian.
what they
Way
just
to
want-
go, Brian.
Sure. Okay, when Christina, she said, what for cats with eye watering and sneezing?
Mm. Yeah, that's probably just allergies. So we do have the special sauce for cats also. It's different from the dog formula. It's specially formulated for cats. So again, just a teaspoon of that mixed in with their food every day, especially their wet food. They really like that. Can make a really big difference in those allergies.
Okay.
That's great.
Mhm.
Learning a lot right now.
Yep. Mhm.
Is the website in the permanent comments? Yes, it is.
Yes.
The website is all the links. Thank you.
Show description. It's all in
They're
there.
all in the show description,
Yep.
and I'll be sure to tag it at the top of the chat too.
Yeah.
So, do we have any more questions, guys? Because these are some really good questions.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep. The chill doggies cracks me up.
I know. Diana, our friend Diana, always goes, all we want to do is chill the doggies.
That's
It's
it.
the doggy. Cracks me up every
Yep.
time he says that.
And you think about it, it's like, okay, so we're celebrating our independence by blowing off a bunch of Chinese fireworks.
Yeah. What sense does that make?
What better way than explosives?
Mm-hmm. From China. Yeah.
Let's see. Which one can humans take? The bottled ones. The
Great
This one-
question. So we do have bottles for people. So while our core mushroom is the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, we think every pet, every person, every day should at least be taking the Coriolis versicolor mushroom. So we're keeping our immune system supported,
Mhm.
which is the green bottle that they held up. But we also have complementary mushrooms. So if you're experiencing something specific, like you have a specific concern that you'd like to address, there are some complementary mushrooms that work well with the Coriolis versicolor mushroom that can help to accelerate your progress. So for example, we have our yellow bottle, which you held up, which is our Enforce Plus, which is the Coriolis versicolor mushroom. Plus it has a little bit of reishi for blood pressure regulation, blood sugar regulation, cholesterol management, those types of things. It helps to alkalinize the body as well. We have our red bottle, which is the Enforce Restore. That's the maitake mushroom. It's a different type of mushroom, and that can be really helpful for liver and pancreas support. We have the blue bottle, which is the Enforce Clarity. That's the lion's mane mushroom, which is really helpful for nerve and brain support, also maintaining a healthy weight. Anybody that you know that's having issues with that, there are a lot of studies done on the lion's mane, especially there's just such a huge increase in dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, neuropathy right now. It's sickening how many people are dealing with that at younger and younger ages. So there's a lot of research done on the lion's mane mushroom and how it impacts those types of cognitive issues. So we're always recommending taking that clarity, the blue bottle along with the green bottle, especially if you have someone dealing with those types of concerns. And then we also have a new one. The orange bottle is the shield. And this is the shiitake mushroom, and it's a great source of natural vitamin D. It's great for cardiovascular support, rich in antioxidants, and also has antiviral properties. So I started taking the shield once it came out, and the best way, I was already feeling really good. And so I was curious as how it was going to, if it was going to change anything or if I was going to feel any different. And the best way that I can explain it is it brightens everything. Like everything just feels brighter and more vibrant, if that
Got a
even
little
makes sense.
amplified. Yeah.
Yeah,
It goes
I
down.
absolutely love the shield. I take it every day now, along with the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, because I'm just like, everything just feels brighter. I don't know what it is about the shiitake mushroom, but that was my experience with it.
I love it.
Uh,
Does it help? Can you recommend something to help with diverticulitis?
Diverticulitis.
Yeah, it's the
It's a,
your
it's a DI.
Oh, yeah,
diverticulitis.
Yeah.
colon,
Yes, all of that.
pressure in the colon. Uh, Now, yeah, so it's when it gets inflamed or infected. So this is something, we have people with colitis and Crohn's and ulcerative colitis and all types of stomach and digestive issues that when they start taking the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, it really helps them to manage what they're experiencing. If not, the flare-ups completely go away in some cases, but in other cases, they go from really extreme to a lot more mild when they happen. And again, that's because it's not only the immune system working to rebalance that, but it also acts as a prebiotic. So
Right.
it helps with that inflammation. It helps your body, it helps your own body fight whatever infection in there that's causing it in the first place. And then it helps to relieve that pressure and soothe it and get rid of that inflammation at the same time.
Yes.
So if you do deal with that, I recommend, because it's a food, different foods can affect certain types of situations like this in different ways. Everybody's experience is going to be unique. So maybe start with one capsule for every 50 pounds. And then if you're feeling good with that, then I would double that and do 2 capsules for every 50 pounds for at least a month. And let the prebiotics and all of that really go to work in your system and see what it can do.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Good.
real good.
Yeah.
So let's see if we got any more questions here. Let's see. Stop eating red meat if you have colitis.
There's all types of dietary restrictions when you're dealing with those.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, eating more fiber helps a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that was it.
yeah. I think that's it for questions.
Questions, everybody.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was, I mean, amazing because, and that's why we like to have you guys on, once a month, and because there's so many questions that people have, and it's just much easier to ask them, and then because the only stupid question is one that's not asked. I
That's
mean,
it.
even if it's repeated, we'll go over it again
Yeah.
because I mean, for all of us to learn together, this is how we have to do it. We
Yeah.
go to the people that actually know what's going on and that can help.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's what we're here, we're here to help and we're here to be a resource. And it's just like the times that we're in right now can be so discouraging. Like you mentioned earlier, Jason, about just everything's poisoned. It's
Yeah,
like, what in
everything.
the world? It's so discouraging and disheartening, but it's nice to know that God has given us everything that we need. And there are solutions out there that are a lot more effective and a lot more affordable. So we just want to connect people with them and, hopefully get people the help that they need to turn things around, not only for their pets, but even for themselves in some issues or in some instances. So we're so grateful. Thank you guys for having us on. We appreciate you and what you guys are doing so, so much. We're so
Well,
grateful for you.
Oh, we thank you guys too,
Yeah.
because I mean, there's so many animals out there that that's the last thing people want to do
Yeah.
is, you know, not be able to extend the life of their kid. I
Their
mean,
baby.
that's it.
Mhm.
And once you realize that, you know, because people that didn't grow up with pets, they don't understand it,
Right.
That's right.
you know, and you know, all of us that did grow up with pets, we have that compassion gene within us, and we're like, hey, we want to help all of them.
Right.
Mhm,
You know, if
mhm.
we want to help one another, well, why can't we help them? They can't help themselves,
Nope.
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and it's so great with you guys coming back on too, because like these questions, they're getting answers straight from you that know what they should be doing. So that's great.
And then there's
I
no
thought you were gonna
guesswork.
say
And
I thought you were gonna say the horse's mouth straight from for Pet Club. Yeah.
the
We're just so proud to be sponsors of this show and to support you guys and what you're doing. It's, you know, I'm so grateful that there are people that are standing up and
Mhm.
standing in the gap, and we're all we rise by lifting others, and that's really what
Yes.
we're all doing is we're
Yeah.
all like coming together and like stop relying on these outside sources that probably, well, don't have our best interest in mind, that
Right.
have experienced the last several decades. And let's come together and do things a different way and do things the right way. And we do that relationally by having relationships with each other and all collaborating and working together, because that system only works. Their system is dependent on our compliance. And when we stop doing it their way and start doing it the way that we're supposed to be doing it, then that's the only way to really change things and have to crumble what no longer serves us and to move toward what serves everybody, you know, all of creation, animals and people. So thank you guys so much for having us on and for this platform. And thank you to your community too, because, you know, when we know that everyone that follows you guys feels the same way and has the same values as you guys and aligns with you. So we're appreciative for this community as well.
yeah, and I know everybody in the chat. I mean, they love you.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody that's going to even watch on replay, because even if they don't have an animal, you know, there are, you know, those ones out there that are actually doing the work and actually helping to make this world a better place. And that's all we can do.
We
Mhm.
want different, we have to do different,
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we can't rely on the you know, medical profession or anything like that, especially with, you know, vets, and because automatically you go to the vet and boom, it's a couple grand and you're like, what?
Get
Mhm.
the door.
Yeah. You walk in the door.
Yeah.
It's
You
like, you
cross
gotta be
that
kidding me.
threshold,
Yeah.
boom, there it is.
Um,
Yeah.
so
So true.
Yeah.
let's see. I want to make sure we got. Let's see, make sure we got them here. The stuff you recommended for my lab can help decrease a cluster of arthritis at the joints.
Mhm.
Yeah, it not only has the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, which will help the immune system with the inflammation, but also it has glucosamine, carotene, and chondroitin. And all of those help with arthritis.
They are not synthetic. They're all natural.
All naturally sourced. Mhm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because all the other stuff you get, it's all synthetic. Like for
Mhm.
dogs, like Cosquin and all that, they use synthetics.
Yep,
Mhm.
all made in labs.
And it doesn't even help.
Mhm.
No, doesn't even help.
That's
It
just
sounds nice. I mean, they do great marketing, but then
yeah,
work. You spend your money on it and you're like, all right,
yeah,
now
Mhm.
worse off place because now you paid for something that didn't work.
yeah. And it's not like you could ask them any questions about it.
No.
They're like, oh no, just read the bottle. That's
Yeah.
it. It's like,
Call the 800 number
Yeah.
and press 2 for Spanish. Good grief.
yeah,
I swear.
terrible,
No more of that.
terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to thank you guys for coming on today.
Yes.
And definitely we'll do it again next month.
Sounds
We're
good.
gonna do it once a month
That'd
because
be great.
there'll be more questions, and you know, and we'll have more answers. Well, you'll have more answers.
Yeah.
We'll just read the questions.
Sounds
So yeah, I
like
want to definitely
good
want to thank
plan.
you guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely want to thank you guys for
both
coming
so
in.
much.
And the links, the Pet Club 24, are all in the permanent comments.
Yes.
Kurt and Cristin, definitely support them, and support them. They support us. We all support one another.
Yeah.
That's how it works,
Full
Exactly.
and it is.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you.
So cool.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Thanks so much.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you
Thank you.
next.
We'll see you
You
soon.
bet. Thank you. Bye bye.
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 All right.
Awesome, baby.
Yes. All right. All right. Now, oh, we got some shit to go through today, guys. Oh, we've got some shit. So, is Doc in here? Please tell me Doc's in here. Please tell me Doc is in here. Because I missed something last night that you think that I would have just like, boom, instantly realized it. But no. Because I had a picture. I took a snapshot of it. So, all right. Remember how we've been talking about President Trump being all these different people throughout time? So, where was he this past weekend? He was at the FIFA Cup 25. I was like, well, that's odd. 25, because we look at FIFA, the 25. Then, I mean, as soon as I saw FIFA, I'm like, yeah, fuck illegals, free America. There's your perfect pitch for soccer. But there was something else. So we're going to read it together. President Trump joked about requiring the U.S. to call soccer football in line with the rest of the world during an interview with the FIFA Club World Cup final Sunday, where he touched on the state of America and his favorite sports stars. Trump attended the FIFA final at MetLife Stadium Sunday evening, where Chelsea Football Club trounced Paris Saint-Germain Football Club in what the president aptly described as a bit of an upset. Why would he call that an upset? The name Saint Germain. Also, if you just want to do the math behind it, the S is a 19, the G is a 7. 1 plus 9 plus 7 is boom, there's your Q. This guy's just, I mean, does he stop? Nope. Not at all. He just keeps on going and keeps on going, and everybody's just falling to the wayside, which is a beautiful thing. Now, there was, well, yeah. I probably saw one of the most enlightening yet disturbing videos. It wasn't a video, it's just audio, right? And it's like 30 minutes long. But there is something about this that I think this guy is not blowing any smoke up anybody's ass. Because this all goes back to the Vatican and the lizards. The whole St. Peter. Now, at first I was like, well, because it was like a half hour long, but the information this guy was giving was information I've never even heard before. Like, all these world leaders, they have to go to the Vatican because they have to go downstairs to swear allegiance to a certain someone. Yeah. It is, I don't even want to say it's out there, like creepy wise, because, well, it's not. Because the big thing about this is that, because this guy was in the Swiss Guard, but he was like way over the Swiss Guard. Oh, did Doc just show up? Oh, all right, Doc. We're gonna have to do a quick run through for Doc. All right, Doc. Sorry about this last night. Totally slipped my mind. So, about Trump going to the FIFA World Cup, the World Cup Final 25, right? Well, also there's DEFCON 25 that rigged the election back in 2018 for everybody that started getting in 2019. That's why they won an award. We actually went over that in big. But right here, Doc. Trump attended the FIFA final at MetLife Stadium Sunday evening, where the Chelsea Football Club trounced Paris Saint-Germain Football Club in what the president aptly describes as a bit of an upset. Saint-Germain, Doc. Saint-Germain. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. But this video, now, it's basically audio. I mean, there are some, like, screens, but for the most part, it's audio. Now, this, oh, wait a second. That ain't it. One second. That's not it. Sorry, guys. Yeah. But that one's good, too. If you want to say that one talks about the ice wall. What's over the ice wall? Now, this one, guys, man, these lizards are all around us. And this is only 25 minutes. And I'm just going to let it play, and then we'll go over it because there's a lot to unpack here. All right, always the eyes.
We are used to trusting what we see, the faces on television screens, the hands signing laws, the voices preaching sermons. But what if something else lurks beneath the human mask? An ancient non-human race. They are called reptilians, a conspiracy theory, a fabrication. What if one of those you have seen with your own eyes decides to speak up? A former employee of the Vatican Secret Service claims that beneath the main temple of Christianity, in a tomb closed to all, there is not a relic, but a sleeping ancestor. And everyone who rises to power in this world, from the Pope to the President, secretly swears allegiance to him. This is not a story about politics. It is a story about control, complete and absolute control, and who really rules our world. My name is of no importance. Just call me an informant. What is important is not who I am, but where I have been and what I have seen. For 15 years, I served in the city-state's internal security service. I'm not one of those guardsmen in ridiculous uniforms that tourists marvel at. My work took place where no tourists go, deep underground, in the veins of this gigantic organism that most people have no idea exists. My post was under St. Peter's Basilica at a depth of 79 meters. That is much deeper than the official cemeteries and archaeological sites. To get there, you had to pass through 4 security checkpoints. The last door was made of solid black basalt, with no locks or handles. It could only be opened with an acoustic key, a device that emitted a specific, extremely low-pitched tone. Behind it was a long, narrow passageway carved into the rock. The air there was always strange, cool, with a smell of ozone, like after a thunderstorm, and something else, a faint but nauseating smell of damp earth and metal. At the end of the corridor was a small square room, and in its center on a plinth stood the capsule. To this day, I don't know what it was made of, trionite. The material was reminiscent of smoky quartz, but it felt warm and almost organic. Inside, a body floated in a viscous, murky gold liquid. When I first saw it, my world was no longer the same. We were taught to resist every threat, but no one had prepared us for such an encounter. It looked like a human being, but only at first glance. 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, but the skin was deathly pale, with a pearly sheen, and completely covered in tiny, tightly fitting scales. It shimmered in the dim light of the lamps like the skin of a snake after molting. The limbs were long and thin, and the fingers ended not in fingernails but in short, black, retracted claws. The face was the most frightening, however. There was no nose, instead 2 vertical slits like a lizard's. The mouth was a thin line without lips that stretched almost from ear to ear. The eyes were closed, but not with normal eyelids. They were covered by a transparent, milky skin through which you could see huge vertical pupils. It didn't breathe, there were no air bubbles. Its chest didn't move, but it was alive. That was the most eerie thing. Every few hours it made a barely perceptible movement. A finger would slowly bend or its head would turn 1 millimeter. We had to carefully record each of these events in the guard book. My partner was an elderly man named Leo. He had worked in this position for almost 30 years. We hardly spoke to each other. The most important rule was to keep quiet about what you were guarding. You simply sat in your cabin, looked at the monitor, which showed the image from the crypt, and noted any anomalies. But one night, the night before the conclave, when a new pope was elected, Leo spoke. He looked at the screen and said quietly, as if talking to himself, "Soon they will bow." I couldn't help but ask who was coming. He turned his wrinkled face to me and said, "The new Herkisher, the one you will elect. You all come here to swear allegiance to the forefather." Quote. That night, Leo told me everything that had been whispered by a generation of guards. He said that the being in the capsule was the one the legends call Peter, but he was not a human, he was one of them. Leo uttered that word for the first time, reptilian. He said that he was a hybrid, the first to make a pact with humanity, or rather with its leadership. He had not died on a cross. He had been placed in this capsule, in a duna, a state of apparent death, so that he could serve as an eternal beacon, the center of their power on this planet. And every pope, before he appears before the world, descends into this tomb alone, accompanied only by the head of the security service. He takes an oath to him, Leo whispered. He swears to serve their race, not of humanity. He swears to keep their secret and further their goals. In return, he receives power, not just spiritual power, real global power. Leo explained that this cult was older than Christianity itself, that it had its roots in the secret societies of ancient Rome, Egypt, and Babylon, that they had always been here, among us, hidden behind human faces. They were the secret kings, the gray cardinals of history. And the Vatican was not the capital of the faith, it was their headquarters. And everything happened exactly as he had described. As white smoke rose from the chimney above the Sistine Chapel, 2 men came down to our post. The head of the security forces and a cardinal whose face I had already seen on the news as one of the leading candidates. The future pope looked exhausted, but his eyes burned. They walked past us as if we were furniture. The basalt door slid silently aside. They entered and it closed around them. We watched the sensors. There were no video cameras inside, only sensors. The pressure remained unchanged, but the temperature slowly rose by 3 degrees. After 13 minutes, the door opened. The cardinal stepped out. Or rather, no longer a cardinal. I looked into his eyes and felt an icy shiver run down my spine. It was the gaze of a predator, calm, assessing, absolutely inhuman. The tiredness and excitement that had been visible on his face 13 minutes ago had vanished without a trace. In their place was a cold, unshakable confidence. An hour later, he stood on the balcony and millions of people greeted their new spiritual leader. And I saw before me a being who had just sold his soul, perhaps even all of humanity, to the one who slept in a capsule deep beneath his feet. After that night, I began to see the world with different eyes. I noticed their traces everywhere. I watched the speeches of world leaders at summits, listened to the heads of megacorporations, saw the smiling faces of the most popular celebrities on the red carpets. And I saw in their eyes the same cold gleam, the same hidden power. They all spoke the right words about peace, the environment, and equality. But their actions led to a single goal, to greater control, to the creation of a single global state, a unified system in which there is no room for free will. I was given access to some of the visitor archives, unofficially of course, lists of those who came to the city-state at night without the press. Presidents of the world's leading powers, members of European royal families, owners of banking empires and technology giants. They were all here. Their visits were disguised as private audiences with the Pope, but I am sure that their route took them much deeper than the papal chambers. They too descended. They too took an oath. These are not simply people invested with power. This is a single network, a global conspiracy that madmen shout about in the streets. Only it is not a conspiracy of people. It is a plot of reptilians against humanity. They are not conquering us with weapons. They are simply using their people in key positions and we give them power willingly. My path was only a matter of time. One day during my shift, I looked at the monitor. The being in the capsule, who always lay face up, slowly, almost imperceptibly turned its head towards the camera, directly towards me, and for a moment its membrane-like eyelid twitched and opened a tiny gap. I saw the pupil. Vertical, cats or a snake's. A black old, ancient will, as old as the wealth. It looked straight at me and I understood two things. First, it does not sleep, it waits, and second, it knows that I know. In that moment, the fear disappeared. All that remained was a resounding lesson and the realization that I had to flee. I quit a week later and made up a story about an aching heart. They did not hold me back and even paid me a decent severance package. But I am not stupid. I know they are watching me. Sometimes I notice them. People in inconspicuous clothing who never take their eyes off me in the crowd. They don't come any closer. They just watch. They let me live because they're sure my story is so unbelievable that no one would believe it. They'll call me crazy and that'll be it. But I can't keep quiet. People need to know that their faith, their hopes, their votes in the elections are all part of a huge production. And the main characters in it aren't even human, they're reptilians. And their time seems to have come. After I left the city, I became a ghost. I move constantly, use cash and don't stay anywhere for more than a few weeks. I know they won't leave me alone. They're not watching me to get rid of me. They want to know what I'm doing. They're sure of my helplessness. But I haven't remained idle. I've stopped being a prison guard and become a researcher. I've devoted all my time to studying those who are like the being in the capsule. Sworn. I have come to realize that the Vatican is their spiritual center, their holy city, the source of their power, but their operational leadership is done from other places, and for 100 years the most important center has undoubtedly been the White House. I began with something simple, observation. For hours, days, weeks, I watched recordings of speeches, press conferences, and random footage from reporters. I watched the presidents, the last 5, and I saw something that others did not notice. People see a confident leader or a tired politician. I saw a mask, and I saw cracks in it. Look at the high-resolution footage. Sometimes, in a sudden flash of lightning, the pupils lose their round shape for a split second. They contract vertically. Technicians attribute this to a pecan defect in the optics or to light effects. But I know what it is. A brief involuntary spasm, a return to true nature, or what is called plurispasm, rapid blinking. In some world leaders, it occurs in stressful situations. Neurologists say it's a nervous tic, but if you watch it in slow motion, you can see that it's not a normal movement of the eyelids. It looks like a transparent film, a third conjunctiva, is sliding quickly over the eye, just as reptiles do to moisten the eyeball without closing it completely. They are among us. They walk, talk, and smile like we do. But their biology is different, and sometimes, when control is lost, it makes itself known. But these are all just circumstantial evidence. I needed more, and I found it. Through encrypted channels, through a chain of 5 intermediaries, I managed to get in touch with a man who worked on the White House staff. He didn't hold a high position. He was a lowly technician who had access to various parts of the building at odd hours. He resigned voluntarily after seeing something. He was afraid to talk, but the sum I paid him, my entire life savings, loosened his tongue. He told me about a night about 2 years ago during a major international crisis. The tension was enormous. The president hardly slept. He was constantly in meetings. That night, around 3 a.m., my contact was called to the West Wing. There was a malfunction in the air conditioning in one of the service corridors next to the Oval Office. As he was working, he noticed that the door to the office, which was supposed to be empty, was slightly open. The lights were off, but a strange noise was coming from inside. He described it as a low, clicking hum. It didn't sound like a human voice. His curiosity got the better of him. He peered through the crack. The president was standing in the middle of the dark office with his back to the door. He wasn't talking on the phone, wasn't looking at his files. He just stood there, completely motionless, making this strange, hoarse-sounding noise. My contact froze in shock, but the worst was yet to come. The president began to turn his head slowly, very gently. Not like a human being with all his body, but only with his neck, which he bent unnaturally like an owl. His head turned almost 180 degrees and he looked directly at the door. In the semi-darkness that fell from the hallway, the technician saw his face for a second and he would have screamed if he could have. He said the face was blurry, as if someone had superimposed bad computer graphics on it. The features blurred for a moment. The skin tightened and became covered in a kind of wavy pattern, as if something were moving underneath. The eyes glowed yellowish in the darkness. That only lasted a moment. Then the face looked normal again. The president looked at him from the darkness, without anger, without surprise, with cold, inhuman curiosity. The technician dropped his tools and ran away. That same morning he handed in his resignation, citing family reasons. He never returned to Washington. This story confirmed my suspicions. These hybrids, have to shed their human form from time to time. Perhaps this is a physiological need, a way to relieve tension. And for that, they need safe places, the Oval Office at night, private residences, underground bunkers that we know about, or maybe even secret rooms that we don't even suspect. Old tunnels under the White House, built in the 18th century. The ideal place to be yourself. And then I understood how religion and politics are intertwined in their world. They are two instruments to control different types of people. For those who seek spirituality and salvation, there is religion, centered in the Vatican. Beautiful rituals, ancient traditions, the promise of eternal life. All that is just a facade behind which hides a sleeping reptilian evil. For those who believe in rationality, progress, and democracy, there is politics, centered in Washington. Loud speeches about freedom and human rights. But that too is just a facade. The American president and the Pope are employees of the same company. They just work in different departments. One controls souls, the other controls minds and bodies. But both are under the same board. I began to look for common symbols, for connecting lines, and I found them. It's not obvious things like Masonic symbols that everyone points to. It's something more subtle. I've noticed that in the speeches of some presidents and in the encyclicals of some popes, especially in times of crisis, the same strange, out-of-context phrase keeps popping up. Ordo ab co, order out of chaos. Everyone thinks this is an old Masonic saying, a taro. But Leo, my old partner, once mentioned that there are old symbols engraved on the base of the capsule in the tomb. I couldn't make them out with the camera, but he said that one of the scholars who was allowed to do the research many years ago had translated them. The inscription read, "We bring chaos to create order." Your order? You yourselves cause crises, financial crises, wars, epidemics. You sow chaos and then you come as a savior and offer a solution. More control, more restrictions, new laws, global agreements, and a frightened, disoriented humanity happily accepts this order and gives up what little freedom it has left. They are not conquering the planet. We are giving it to them piece by piece. I have come to understand that celebrity movie and music stars are just another tool of theirs. The third division of their enterprise, the distraction division. While politicians and priests rule the world, the beaming faces on the screens shape our culture, our desires, our dreams. They tell us what to wear, what to eat, and what to think about. They create an endless stream of white noise so that we don't notice what is really going on. And many of them are part of the cult too. Do you think that their sudden enthusiasm for strange esoteric teachings and their trips to exotic places for spiritual enlightenment are just the whims of the rich? No, these are initiation rituals, pilgrimages to other lesser-known but no less ancient places of power. I have found evidence of the existence of at least 2 more capsules like the one in the Vatican. One is believed to be in a remote monastery in the mountains of Tibet. The other is somewhere in the ruins of an ancient city in the jungles of South America. It is a global network, sleeping merbs scattered across the planet, and the entire world elite are their priests and overseers. They are preparing the world for something, for a final event. I don't know what yet, but I have found another clue. A trail that leads from the White House and the Vatican into the world of high technology. Into the valley where the future is being created, and what I have unearthed there is Keller. It is more terrible than anything I have ever seen. Their ultimate goal is not just power over us. Their goal is the very essence of what it means to be human. I thought I understood their plan. Power, control, resources, the usual goals of any conqueror. I was wrong. Their ambitions are far, far more terrible. My search took me from politics and religion to the last bastion of modern faith, technology, to the valley where our future is forged. I began investigating the largest technology corporations, one in particular. Let's call it Genesis. Its founder is a young genius, a prophet of the new digital world, hailed as the savior of humanity. Its official goal is to unite all people, to give everyone access to information, to defeat disease and even death itself. Noble, isn't it? But I hacked into their internal servers. I spent months sifting through terabytes of data, encrypted reports, and private correspondence. And I realized that Genesis is not a commercial project. Gordon, it's the final phase of their plan. It's the main development department of a reptilian cult. They're building a global digital prison, and we applaud every new brick in its wall. Think of your most important projects. The first is a global satellite internet network that will cover every inch of the planet. Officially, they are supposed to provide poor African villages with internet. In reality, they are creating an omnipresent field, a low-frequency field, the heavy dake, which constantly affects the brain of every person. This is not just data transmission, it is a signal transmission medium. The second project is neurointerfaces. Small chips that will one day, so we are promised, enable the paralyzed to walk and the blind to see. Testing has already begun. People will voluntarily have these chips implanted in their brains in order to control a computer with the power of their thoughts or to connect directly to the internet. They are selling this as evolution. In reality, it is the installation of a receiver for the exact signal that their global network is transmitting. And the third, most homely project is Eden. A global virtual universe, a place where you can be whoever you want and do whatever you want. They promise us a second life that is better than the real one. Millions of people are already waiting for the launch, ready to escape their problems into a digital paradise. But Eden is not a game. It is a tranquilizer. It is a digital cage with beautiful wallpaper, designed to keep our consciousness occupied and passive while they complete their work on our bodies. I found an internal memo that was not intended for public viewing. The word reptilians did not appear in it. They used the code names Source 1 for the entity in the Vatican, and Source 2 and Source 3 for those in other parts of the world. The document stated that the coup sources have a vast but chaotic PSI giving potential. By themselves, they can only affect those in their vicinity. They are like radio transmitters without an antenna. Now, Genesis is building this antenna. A global one. When the network covers the planet and enough people have their chips implanted, they will activate the system. The signal from Source 1, amplified and modulated by their technology, will be transmitted directly to the brains of billions of people. What kind of signal will that be? I have found simulations. These are not commands like go there or buy that. It will be a wave that suppresses the higher functions of the cerebral cortex. It will suppress the will, critical thinking, the personality itself. The individual self will simply disappear. Humanity will become a single obedient hive, a collective state controlled by the will of Source. We will cease to be human. We will become mere bodies, biological avatars controlled by an alien consciousness. This is not extinction, this is assimilation. Complete and final. And this is not the future. This is happening right now. The final phase of the satellite network expansion is planned for the end of next year. The presentation of the first publicly available version of the neurochip will take place in 6 months. They are on the home stretch. All world leaders, all those who have taken the oath, know about it and support it. They are pushing for digital identification laws. They are converting the economy to cashless payments. All for total control, so that no one can hide from the network once it is fully operational here. They have been promised a place in the new world. They are to become governors, the elite of the hive. They are unaware that the jimmies for the source does not exist. There is only food and tools.
So yeah, you could say that's a little odd. Because we have to go back to this whole remember the 5th of November, right? So Melania showed up wearing the whole getup, right? But remember, there's always two. The second V was V and V, the final battle. Back in the 80s. I know most of us remember that show. Because what were they eating? Rats and white rabbits. Yeah. Now, a couple things. When they mentioned the acoustic key, right, that low hum. Well, which key is that on the papal shield? At the top of the shield, it has 2 keys. You have 1 key to get, and then 1 to go right to hell. Then why this made so much more sense to me was the whole, that's Peter. So when you look at Peter's chair in Vatican, was that made for Christ? Nope. Not at all. He's the first hybrid to make a pact with humanity. Wow, thanks. It doesn't sleep, it waits. And talk about the president shapeshifting, right? For some reason, that tells me that's Obama. Because how he's talking about how the papacy, how it's shifted over. Well, in order for him to do all his research and everything, that means that this must have been the last pope. Right? So you have the last pope. Well, not the last pope, but you have, Pope Francis, which technically, remember, he wasn't supposed to be in there. And they had this big coup, was on March 13th, 2012. And when he mentioned 13 minutes, right? So they're only in there for 13 minutes, and he comes out like Stone Cold Killer. Okay. Now, they mentioned 3 places where that black sarcophagus is located, right? That has that being in it. You know, Peter. You got one in Vatican City, one in a monastery in Tibet, and then one in a South American jungle in ancient ruins. Well, that'll be easy to find. Not so much. And also, when they said that they have receivers for control, right? There's your RFID chips. Also, the chips they were putting in the vaccines. They all want to control. It's funny they call them source 1, source 2, source 3 as well. So yeah, that was out there. But from everything we've learned, is it really? No, it's not. Not at all. Also, let's see here. Oh, thank you, Avery. Man, you're top notch. Can't wait to see you next week. Woo! Got some fun. I mean, so we went over this yesterday during a show yesterday. Now, let me pull this up. Nope, that's not it. Focus. Oh, dude. All right. 5th one down. Nope. Here it is. All right. So, post 4963, November 18th, 2022. Right? So, funny thing is, it's 4 days away from November 22nd. It comes later. Now, it says Runback Dominion, SOS offices, investigators, researchers, whistleblowers, patriots, and trusted positions. Trust yourself. You have seen the truth. Time to show the world. Focus. Focus. Ascension. Right? So, why would they lift focus? Now, we went over this a while ago, but we have to do this again because of what happened on Sunday. So Sunday, you know, they had Turning Point USA the whole weekend, right? Now, the thing is, it was the Student Action Summit, right? Now, that was on 7/13, right? Same day that we had the 2 shows, one with Phil, and then we doubled back and did another show, which is kind of funny because when you look back at it, that means we have 4 events that happened on 7/13. You had 7/13/2018. You had Trump taking the Queen off the board, right? Then 6 years later, you have the Butler shooting. Same exact day. Can't make that up, can you? Then we go to this year, where if you look at it, it's mirrored, right? The shooting and then our interview with Philip Turney, and then same one right there. But there's some oddities in this. So everything was done on Sundays, right? So we have 6/8/2025 was a Sunday. Remember the start of the boom weeks. 6/8/25 to 6/14/25. There's the start of one boom week. Now, then 5 weeks later, 5/5 is 7/13. Exact same day, a Sunday, right? Now, why this just makes everybody sense that they're doing this to go after the fucks that did the USS Liberty. Focus. Operation Focus. It's a military operation, right? It was the opening day airstrike by Israel at the start of the 6-Day War in 1967. It is sometimes referred to as the Sinai air strike, or should we say better, student action summit. Now, if you notice the time, right? 7:45 on June 5th, 1967. So we'll just do this. Go back here. Do this. Flip this. This. Flip that. Hillary Clinton arrested between 7:45 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. on Monday the morning on October 13th, 2017. The funny thing is that we're playing it twice. We know she's already been eradicated. We already know that. But that other 7:45 a.m. on a Monday. So, what day was June 5th, 1967? It was a Monday. They started at 7:45 a.m. Right there. Then we go to drill, baby, drill, right? It's always drill, baby, drill, drill, baby, drill. It's 424. Just count it out. DBD 424. But what number are we looking to reach? Because they're demonic. It's a 666. So I do know that we had another 242 early on. But we have another one. This one, I think it has a lot to do with this. So if you look at UN Resolution 242, adopted by the United Nations Security Council on November 22nd, 1967, well, you don't say. So if we do the math in this, right? Now, that post with focus, right? That was on November 18th, right? 4 days from the 22nd. Now, this is signed on the 22nd. Exactly 4 years to the day that Kennedy got shot. Oddity, right? There's a resolution concerning the Middle East conflict, particularly in the aftermath of the 6-Day War. Why did Trump call? Oh, this is the 12-Day War. This was the 12-Day War. Guys, come on. He's fucking with us, but we can pick up on this. So, resolution calls for withdrawal of Israeli forces. It emphasizes the need for Israel to withdraw its armed forces from territories occupied during the conflict, specifically referring to the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and the Golan Heights. And what did they do? They just went in there and started torching everything. And they're still doing it today. Recognition of sovereignty. The resolution stresses the importance of recognizing the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and political independence of every state in the area, which includes Israel and its Arab neighbors. What about that land that it was called before? You know, that Palestine place, right? Peaceful settlement calls for a just and lasting peace in the Middle East, which includes the acknowledgement of the rights of the Palestinian people. What is President Trump trying to do right now? He is trying to bring a just and lasting peace in the Middle East. But there's a problem. In order to have a just and lasting peace in the Middle East, you have got to get rid of one of the two parties that were bound by this. I'm going to go for Israel that we get rid of. Because when all this stuff comes out, that's why the whole Epstein, all that hasn't not come out. It's one big, massive RICO case. If Trump says the FBI and DOJ don't have it, the Epstein stuff, of course they don't. But early on, we were told to trust Kansas and trust Ray, right? Well, also Mike Pompeo is in the drops playing chess, right? So we know he's on our side. Even though people are like, oh no, nope, hold up. we have to do some serious critical thinking here. Because if Epstein was tied to intelligence, right? Which intelligence? We know it's not the FBI anymore. It's CIA, right? But also, we're missing a huge part of this also. Now, you have Ray in the FBI, Pompeo in the CIA, right? But for some reason, nobody has this shit. We get rid of Israel. Fuck. Dealing with England, it's going to be a whole hell of a lot easier than dealing with Israel. Big time. I mean, you already took the couple of the top lizards out, but Israel's last. Hang on. Because who's Israel under? They're under the UK. Remember, everything changed. I put a to-do list. I should just remove that. I put it over the, what they changed over that, was it the moon something? I'll move it a little bit. So, when you look at the whole Epstein, right? So you had Ray, Pompeo. So, this was all before he committed suicide, right? So they say. Well, if President Trump already knew that Clinton was on the island, right? A lot of bad things happened on that island, but nobody has any of the information on it. But yet, John Solomon was coming out and saying, hey, you know, if they have a special prosecutor, right? Oh, there's this. Now, also, we're going to go back to this post because you have to realize what's happening right now, right? So here, 8 and 6 to 14, which is 7-7. So back in 2011, the indomitable Peter Schweitzer published Throw Them All Out, a detailed examination of political corruption as it actually practiced in all of the Congress. In his investigation, Schweitzer found one single member of Congress against whom no allegations could be held, who has never taken a dime that was not his, has never cut any backroom deals, has never simply played the game. That individual was Jeff Sessions. The fact that you need to know that understand why Donald Trump selected Sessions for the Department of Justice and why Sessions has followed this course he's taking on the Russia collusion coup effort. Sessions is a quintessential Eagle Scout. He'll follow the rules down to the last subclause and will not make his move until every T has been crossed and every I dotted. We saw the first results of his approach last Friday in dealing with Andrew McCabe, this century's prime example of a cookie full of arsenic. That's saying it lightly. Sessions waited until the FBI's Office for Professional Responsibility, which is run by Assistant Director Candace Will, who was appointed by Robert Mueller of all people, recommended that McCabe be fired. He then had McCabe officially informed beforehand following the established procedure of the letter. This comes under rubric of strategy, a concept unfortunately foreign to too many active conservatives. A large number of cons recognize only one course of action, a headlong charge against the closest target while howling at the top of their lungs, Democrats. Not only do they dismiss any more subtle form of action, but they often attack those engaging in the cowardice or corruption of being an Alinskyite, Obama's commie stooge, which they are, despite the fact that their kamikaze runs usually end up heading over the nearest cliff. So as Sessions, who had been routinely dismissed as paid off being asleep on his desk or as part of the swamp. Sometimes you need to take one for the team publicly before you are vindicated as a hero. So now you look at Trump, Bondi, Bongino, Cash. They all know that the stuff's out there, but they don't have it. Now, when Solomon was saying, hey, they could just have a special prosecutor from someplace outside of DC, right? Now, who started the Epstein investigation? They've been telling us, guys. Sessions began the Epstein investigation. When that is revealed, those who doubted may see the light. The wheels of justice turn slow, but when they turn, they are powerful. 10 times speed now underway. We are back online. Pelosi attempted block. That was July 8th, 2019. Right? So, if Sessions was running it, right? But remember, Sessions recused himself. And remember when he left, he passed it over to Matt Whitaker. When Sessions was sitting there crying, I mean, he's crying. Let's face it. I mean, the guy's, I mean, he's as solid can get, right? So let me find this one real quick. And it is post 2603, December 12th. What if there's another prosecutor outside of DC assigned by Sessions with the same mandate authority? One for the history books? Not long now. Because where's Huber? Remember, he had to stay out of DC because if you're looking into all that stuff, you don't take all the evidence, right? And you go directly to where basically all the criminals are so that they could literally just nonstop attacks because they know what's going on. But see, they're too stupid. They think, oh, if it's not handled in DC or New York or anything like that, yeah, you can't get a fair trial, as we've seen. But now, he's like, oh, it could be in Florida, right? Well, so you're going to have another special prosecutor in there, which could be Matt Gaetz. Or, because you have two. Where's Huber? Because the first term we had Durham and we had Horowitz. Where's Huber's? Nobody's heard a peep out of him. That means shit's getting ready to go down. Big time. I don't think there's a Huber Jr., though. I know Durham, there's a Durham Senior and Junior. And Durham Jr. is in the Eastern District of New York. Which would be the shit, because let's face it, Southern District of New York, all this shit. Because what's happening up in New York, New Jersey right now? A lot of flooding, huh? Where does water go? Underground, right? Like in tunnels? Yeah. Where's the biggest concentration of Jews in America? New Jersey and Long Island. Yeah. Clean up on aisle shit. I mean, it just, some of the stuff, it's like, what the hell's going on with this shit? Now, let's see. A couple more. We got quite a bit more of these. So, of course, well, I'll have to see if the new one came up yet for the Epstein Elite. Because right now we're already up to part 7. And we have got 3 pages of names and been writing them all down so that, you know, I can cross-check them and everything. And yeah, there's some bangers in this. Probably listen to part 7. Yep. Yeah, we can. Because what people have to understand is that Judaism, even though like, oh, no, Judaism was never these Abrahamic faiths and all that shit, guys. We got to stop this shit. We really do. Because if you think that they actually like Christians over there, guess what? No, they don't. I know, surprise, right? So I've got a little clip here. It's like 3.5 minutes long. But yeah, this was just well, this posted 5 hours ago. So just happened this weekend.
On the ruins of a 5th century Byzantine church, prayers are once again being offered for peace and protection. Days after Israeli illegal settlers tried to torch the historic St. George Church in Taiba, a procession of church leaders and diplomats toured the site in a show of solidarity. The village of Taiba, just northeast of Ramallah, has been attacked repeatedly in recent weeks. Fields have been burned, homes targeted, and religious landmarks desecrated.
In spite of all this hassle and struggling, we are staying here, and we will be here all the time. Never changed. This our mind, this is our blood, this is in our blood. We will never change our thinking that we will leave. We will stay here even if we die here.
Illegal settlers from nearby illegal outposts routinely enter the area, even grazing livestock on Palestinian farmland. Residents say these aren't random acts, but part of a broader campaign to forcibly displace them.
I was driving home from working on my farm when I was surprised to see a car coming towards me, and I didn't know who they were. They blocked the road in front of my car. The driver got out with a weapon. He told me I was the police, so he was impersonating the police. He pointed at me with the weapon as a means of intimidation. They attempted to steal my car.
In just the first half of 2025, the United Nations recorded more than 740 incidents of settler violence across the occupied West Bank. Nearly 500 Palestinians have been wounded in these attacks, the majority, about 70%, at the hands of settlers, while the rest were injured by Israeli forces. June marked a grim milestone. 95 Palestinians were hurt in settler-related violence, making it the most violent month in 2 decades.
What is it that you want from the international community?
We ask them to pay attention to the Christian presence, the situation that everybody is passing through, and to focus on Christian presence, because Christian presence is very important for all of us. Everybody acknowledges that Christian presence plays an important role it's like a buffer zone.
Instead of protection, Israel's far-right government has empowered settlers even further. National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir recently announced a new police unit composed entirely of settlers, tasked with operating inside the occupied West Bank. Father Fawadli says all Palestinian villages are being attacked.
We are also neighbors and brothers and sisters for the people in Kfar Malik, in Al-Mazra al-Sharqiyya, in Turmus Ayyan, everywhere. So we are brothers and sisters. We are under the same aggression and attacks because we are Palestinian, not because we are Christian or Muslims.
Many Palestinians say the current battle is not over land because Israel has grabbed almost all of it and is on its way to devouring what's left. They say now the battle is for existence, a battle for survival, to be or not to be. Mohammed Al-Qasim, TRT World, Taiba, occupied West Bank.
Now, doesn't sound like that, Resolution 242 was really held up. They know what they're doing. I'm talking about like the White Hats and everything. They're doing this on purpose. They need a little bit more time. That's it. We have to give them as much time as possible because when it all comes crumbling down, you got Huber And you could have someone else. You have another special prosecutor somewhere that nobody knows. Right? But, yeah, they forced, John Huber instructed to resign, but he's appointed by session. So Trump could say, no, you're staying on. Because it's funny that they were like, oh, well, we're going to start going after the Democrats over the past 10 years. Well, isn't it just ironic that it goes right back to 2015? You know, when all the pardons started. Because we're going to talk about the pardons too, because we caught it right when it happened. Because everybody's so like, oh, well, the pardon for Fauci. I don't give a fuck about those pardons. We saw over 8,000 felons, like bad people that shouldn't even be on the street at all anymore. They were the ones that got all their pardons, commutations, and that was all on the last day. 8,000 of them. Right. Right? No. Also, there's another video we have too. It's when the Clintons like criminal billionaires walk free for millions. Yeah. They were selling pardons, guys. Just like Obama was doing, just like Biden's whole office was doing. It was all pay to play. All of it was. Exactly, blazing truth. Because John was a prosecutor out of New York. Wonder if that is going to come up big. Because if you're going after Democrats, right? Because there's a lot of information that we have, well, our side has, that they don't even realize that we have to actually ask questions about. Because there's one event that happened in Florida that I totally missed it. Well, we didn't miss it, but on all of our, when we were going over everything that Israel's done to the United States, we forgot about the high rise in Florida that just collapsed because of the pool, the swimming pool that was underneath it. The same one that they had cameras on, and that McAfee said that, hey, yeah, there's 32 terabytes of data in this apartment, in this area. And mysteriously, that building came down. But coincidentally, who were the first ones on the scene investigating? If you picked anybody in the United States, you'd be dead wrong. It was the IDF. Why was the IDF over here investigating a building collapse? Yeah, I'm not buying that either. So, oh, hey, you guys want a feel good video? We got one. This is just a clip, so. This is Tel Aviv, right before. Oh, you're welcome, right? I mean, but it's all radio silence on their end, right? Oh, Iran didn't do anything to us. Well, if we were protecting Israel, do you think that would have all happened? Oh, it's the same place. Just bomb the fuck. But you can see the tower cranes on the far side. They don't have tower cranes in Gaza. they're not allowed to build in Gaza. It's almost like the Palisades. Not allowed to build there. But yet, they're all hopping around the streets. They were like, oh, yeah, it's, oh, fuck them all. We have to kill them all. Death by 1,000 cuts, guys. Death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah. So, oh, there was something else that came out today. Yeah, this is big. All right, this came out 8 hours ago. And, guys, I don't get it. We keep on watching these O'Keefe videos, right? You would think that somebody would be like, hey, you guys, don't go on any dates. Don't try to get picked up. And don't talk about work when you're on these dates. Please. But, no. Johnson & Johnson lead scientist confesses Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine was not safe and effective.
Do you have any idea the lack of research that was done on those products?
Joe Biden says that it's safe and effective, but like he didn't know.
There's no proof. I mean, none of that stuff was safe and effective. People wanted it. Who gave it to them? It's like, all right, you know what? Cancer patient's going to die anyway. I'm sure somebody's going to get sued for that stuff eventually.
Hi, Josh. Are you Josh Rice from Johnson & Johnson? You're going to deny your identity?
Yes, sir.
And you said that your vaccine was not safe and effective. You said that. Deep inside Johnson & Johnson's global machine is a scientist, a lead scientist, whose very approval or disapproval of J&J products can change millions of American lives. Meet Joshua Rees, a lead regulatory scientist at Johnson & Johnson. Joshua, in his role, leads the creation and execution of regulatory strategies for new and existing products across Johnson & Johnson.
We run the whole soup to nuts. Like, not only are we working on the products, but like, everything that has to do with the drug. We have to make sure you understand how to use the drug, how to be able to prescribe certain pieces of information, how to communicate that to the patient.
Now, according to a Johnson & Johnson press release from December 2021, the safety and well-being of those who use the Johnson & Johnson vaccine continues to be our #1 priority. Now, for the first time ever, an official from Johnson & Johnson admits to our hidden cameras that the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine was, quote, not safe and effective, unquote. And the company wanted to, quote, just throw the vaccine creation to the wind and see what happens, unquote.
You know, they're like, Joe Biden says that it's safe and effective, but like he didn't know.
There's no proof. I mean, none of that stuff was safe and effective. We didn't do the typical test. Like the typical process, that's why it takes so long to get a product on market. The typical process is all this clinical trial testing and stuff in a small population. This was just, let's test it on some, lab models, analyze and see if it works and stuff like that, and just throw it to the wind and see what happens.
People didn't know that. Like the patients.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure somebody's going to get sued for that stuff eventually.
The lead regulatory scientist for Johnson & Johnson went into detail about how the federal government applied heavy pressure on Big Pharma in order to hastily create the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine, encouraging speed over efficacy or safety.
Do you have any idea the lack of research that was done on those products? Like, you shouldn't be surprised that this happened. It was pretty much the government kind of made a deal with pharmaceutical companies and kind of pressured the pharmaceutical companies, because we're not going to say no to the help, like the government. Like the government's like, yo, these 3 big ass companies, we need help. We need to figure this out. You're solving this problem.
Was that Operation Warp Speed?
I mean, we basically just had a race to figure out who could solve it best. Like, people wanted it. who gave it to them.
The CDC has previously announced they're pulling the J&J vaccine from use in the United States. J&J claims this is due to the vaccine's declining use and the company's strategic shift away from the vaccines. But as you just heard, J&J's own regulatory scientist was well aware of the ineffectiveness of their own COVID vaccine.
There's something side effect that's going to happen. And it's more or less, all right, what's the worst side effect that's going to happen? And is that better than the benefit that the consumer's going to get? It's like, that's the interesting thing that I've found about it, because it's like, all right, you know what? Cancer patient's going to die anyway. So quality of life is the question in that instance, as opposed to whether you're curing something. You're not curing anything at that point. It's just, all right, are you going to have a nicer 6 months?
Now, I caught up with Joshua Rye in Toms River, New Jersey, on the Jersey Shore, to get clarification on what he meant by his comments on hidden camera. What led him to say this? What led him to tell a total stranger that his product was not safe and effective? Here's a little sneak peek of how this went. This is one of the most extraordinary interactions ever, maybe rivaling the one that I had with the other guy inside Pfizer back 2.5 years ago. Are you Josh Rice from Johnson & Johnson? You're going to deny your identity?
Yes, sir.
And you said that your vaccine was not safe and effective. You said that. You know, where is he going? He's going to run away. He's going in the women's restroom. Are you confused? I am a human man. I am allowed to take a peek in the man's restroom. You shouldn't be surprised that this happened. We have no idea. People, I got it from your mouth.
No.
Stand behind what you said and explain to us what you meant by it. Undercover investigations like these carried out by our OMG undercover journalists are pulling back the veil on the corruption and lies in our government, in our corporations, in the pharmaceutical industry. Remember, sometimes 60, 70, 80% of revenue for cable news organizations and other organizations in the news business come from big pharma. The last time we did an undercover investigation into big pharma, like Pfizer, just a couple weeks later, I was indefinitely suspended from the organization I created. But we are going to report the news and tell the truth without fear and without favor. But we need you to reach out to our tip line at tips@o'keefemediagroup.com or send us a message on our signal. That's 914-491-9395. You could even connect with me on Minect, the app, and ask me, James O'Keefe, a direct question. I'll get back to you. One of our reporters will get back to you at the other tip lines. Thank you and stay tuned.
So, when they said it was Operation Warp Speed, no. We know what Operation Warp Speed was. Tainting the other batch. Because that article that they showed, Operation Warp Speed, that came out in February 2021. Well, Trump wasn't in then. He just told him, okay, we'll get these out there. But he knew the right ones that need to be used. Right? Hydroxychloroquine, zinc, everything. It's all in the drops. He literally put everything out there for us. So this one's going to take a bit to type up because no, not really. So all this blood libel, right? Oh, blood libel, blood libel, blood libel. Don't ask me to say this fountain, but it's a child eater fountain. Painted stone fountain in Granary Place in Bern, Switzerland, one of the old city of Bern's foundations from the 16th century. It's created 1545, 1546, sure it was, by Hans Ging to replace a wooden fountain from the 15th century. New fountain's original name was the Plaza Fountain. The current name was used first in 1666. Cute. Kindi is a Swiss-German diminutive from German word kind, meaning child. Little translation from the name of Kind of Verbrunnen, therefore being the founder of the eater of little children. As you see, yeah. Wonder who that was directed towards. Not tell us. Fountain sculpture depicts a seated ogre devouring a naked child, placed at his side, a bag containing more children. Because the ogre is wearing a pointed hat resembling a Jewish one, it has been speculated about the possibility of the ogre being a depiction of a Jew as an expression of blood libel against Jews. A possibility. No. It's dead on. Another theory is the statue of like the Krampus, the beast-like creature from folklore of Alpine countries thought to punish children during the Christmas season who has misbehaved. According to other theories, the depiction of the Greek god Cronus eating his children on the Roman Saturn eating the months, though Cronus should have 6 and Saturn 12 rather than the sculpture's 8. Another theory is that it represented Cardinal Scheiner, who led the Swiss Confederation into several bloody defeats in northern Italy. An alternative theory is that a depiction of the older brother of Duke Berchtold, founder of Bern, who is acclaimed, was so incensed by his younger brother's overshadowing of him that he collected and ate the town's children. Not much of a theory, is it? Such an incident is not recorded in Bern's history books. A final theory is that just a carnival character intended to frighten disobedient children. Such an incident is not recorded in Bern's history books. Well, no shit. Right? We know where they are. Another theory is the 8 children depict the 8 cantons of the old Swiss Confederacy, and the ogre is an enemy, possibly Charles the Bold, Duke of Burgundy, trying to gobble up the cantons up. No. This would match the fountain's base, which showed the frieze of armed bears going to war, including a piper and drummer. Think the Pied Piper. The frieze may have been designed by Hans Rudolf Manuel Deutsch. It's an important object in the 73 model Le Ogre by Jacques Chessex. So, thing is, as we've gone over numerous times, come on. See this? So we did put this in the chat Sunday. I'll put it in the chat again. And I did pin that video, Wendy. We are going to watch that because didn't watch the Trump presser today. So it's got to be really, really good. So these are the complete list of 1,030 Jewish expulsions in human history. Not a good look. But we need to look around that, you know, that lovely, mysterious time, right? Let's see. 12, I mean, Jews expelled, Jews expelled, Jews expelled, Jews expelled. Jews expelled by the Podesta. Odd. Jews expelled after major pogroms for ritual murder. Yeah. Jews expelled, forced conversion, ritual murder of a Christian child. Jews expelled to protect them from Christians wanting to kill Jews for already killing Christians. Yeah. 1293, 1294. Jews expelled for ritual murder. Right in Bern, Switzerland. So you think they got the date of the fountain right? I very highly doubt it. Jews expelled after rebellion occurs after ritual murder charges. So when it says they're expelled, Jews are expelled by the Queen, but soon readmitted due to bribe in the Papal States. Cute. Well, if it was in the Papal States, then why didn't they just bribe the Pope? Why would you have a queen if you had a Pope? Just questions we're asking. See, Jews expelled due to medical financial malpractice. Jews expelled, exterminated. I mean, just ritual murder, ritual abuse against Christian objects in a religion, ritual murder. 1348 Jews expelled out of Switzerland. And look, all these small towns are saying, remember they were like, oh, they want to see we poison the wells. Well, there sure are a lot of people that wanted you thrown out of Italy and Austria and Germany and France, Spain over it. Now, if it was one country, I could see it, but too many coincidences, shall we say. See, Jews massacre 2000 expelled for a century by townspeople on Valentine's Day because the Jews manipulated the price of corn and that Jews were protected from any persecution of their crime by the city council. Think about it on a larger scale today in America. Jews expelled, killed. Jews expelled, Jews expelled, Jews expelled for heretical activity. Jews expelled again out of Hungary. So just, what, 11 years later, they threw them out again. Like, hey, we'll give you another chance. Basel, Switzerland did it again, too. Jews expelled again. Jews expelled for host desecration. Spain, Jews expelled after pogroms killing 4,000. Local authorities had wanted them expelled for a long time, but the Pope and the King had always prevented it. Once King Juan of Castile dies, the Queen Mother Leonora expels them and destroys their 23 synagogues. 23 pain. That's a 14, which is 7-7. Also 7-7. You have Seville, Spain. The S is a 19. There's a 17. There's another 17. You just combine them. Totals 34. Which is 7. Spain. Expelled, exterminated, expelled, exterminated. Expelled forced baptism. Expelled for backsliding Moranos. Expelled again. Jews expelled. The house is sacked for usury. Jews expelled due to banking complaints. Jews expelled after pogrom. Jews expelled. Put in prison for conspiracy against royal business. Jews expelled for being social pariahs and prostitutes. Funny thing is that, getting up that magical time in Spain, right? Germany, they're all throwing them out. So, needless to say, it's not as if they could actually scream blood libel anymore. Because if you're getting expelled partially for desecration, arson of a church, what did we watch a video on? Did it there too. Jews expelled for Jewish doctors plotting the deaths of Christian patients. Can't make this up. Jews expelled forever out of Speyer, Germany. Bet your place is packed full of them now. Jews expelled. Netherlands expelled. Papal states in Italy, they expelled them again after multiple pogroms. Remember, they were led in by the Queen, and then guess what? They just got thrown out again. Expelled partially for money lending. Coin clipping, money lending, it's all the same shit. Yeah. Now you're starting to see the Converso Jews expelled in the quarter sacked by the order of Calatrava after taking over financial administration. Remember Spain? They were not allowed to do any of that shit. Expelled for excesses in banking, trade, brokerage, money lending. Even the Franciscans kicked them out. That says a lot. Jews expelled unsuccessfully. Yeah, same year. I guess 1453 must have been a hot year, huh? Must have been. Constantinople. Jews partially expelled and massacred by Greeks for allowing the invading Ottoman Turks to enter the city directly through the Jewish quarter with the assistance of the Jews. Wow. Well, I mean, we could just use this as a simple as a model, Jews partially expelled and massacred by Americans for allowing the invading, whatever you want to call them, right, to enter the city, the country, directly through the Jewish the border with the assistance of the Jews. Is there any difference in that whatsoever than what's going on right now? Hell, the Catholics and the Jews funded it. Well, we funded it. They just threw it their money men. Also through the what's it? National Education of America, you know, the biggest teachers union. That's why you had to break up the whole Department of Education. Now they got these bitches out there screaming like, oh, what do you say? People are gonna die now? Well, kids aren't gonna learn. Have you seen the numbers? You have people at Harvard, they can't read. They can't spell. But just because they put Black Lives Matter on their thing, yeah. Jews expelled for extortion. Jews expelled after riot because Jews tried to bribe the Pope. Jews expelled after Easter riot. Jews expelled by Dominicans after the annual fair. Jews expelled on St. Stephen's Day after riot. I mean, is it any expelled again, expelled, readmitted, expelled, killed, expelled by Queen Isabella I, 1466. Wasn't King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella II in Spain? So in Sicily, Italy, you had Queen Isabella I. So she threw him out once already. Then the next one came up and said, yeah, you gotta go. Jews expelled, killed for ritual murder. Yeah. Accused of murdering the Constable of Castile. Expelled by the Christian Brotherhood acting under King Henry the Impotent. Good name there. After being accused of bribing one of the most powerful generals, Alonso Fernandez de Aguilar. Jews expelled for heresy, blasphemy. Don't say, right? Jews expelled after a mob attack on a Jewish quarter. Wonder what water does, huh? It definitely puts a damper on their little killing field down there, underground. Expelled after riots, Jews expelled for ritual murder of Christian child for 300 years. You know what this one is? Saint Simon of Trent. The Eaters of Children book. Right there. Jews expelled. That's in Italy. Austria. Jews expelled for ritual murder of a Christian child. Yet the funny thing is that, remember, God said that you get this land if you stop killing people. Stop sacrificing people. And they kept doing it. And they're still doing it. But they thought that they deserved that land. God gave us that land. There were caveats to that land, bud. And why was just that land? They're going to pick that land because that's where all the religions pretty much got together and lived in harmony. Like there was no bullshit from this country or that country. I mean, everybody in Palestine was like, hey, we're cool. But then you had your Jew terrorists go in there and England, because England just wasn't done colonizing. Because it makes it a lot easier if Israel's doing the colonizing and all that, getting the murder count up, so that they can all bring their king of the world back. Probably that Peter that's underneath the St. Peter's Basilica. But remember they said, oh, the bones of St. Peter are down there. We don't know. Yeah, sure. But cut cut the bullshit already. That's why they said we'd never believe what is actually happening. If you told people that we're going to the Vatican religiously and praying and all that you guys are praying to a reptilian overlord that's like 75 meters below ground floor right now, they'd probably lose their shit and call you batshit crazy, but hey, who's sitting in that chair? And also, why does the whole thing look like a big reptile head? Post 191. Jews expelled after riots. Jews expelled by populace, denied by Medici. Jews expelled because Christians were attending Jewish weddings. Jews expelled for ritual murder. Jews expelled for ritual murder. Jews expelled, killed for host desecration. For multiple pogroms from Jewish money lending. Always ritual murder. It never stops. Expelled again by church authorities. And here it is. See how this is all coming together? Spain. King Ferdinand II of Aragon. Threw them out, started rounding them up, said 1492, get these fucking shit dicks off our peninsula. Thank you. And what Christopher Columbus do? Okay. See, now what happened? They're like, hey, let's just get rid of them. So they took them across the Dutch West Indies because, the Caribbean, nice. They partnered up with the Dutch and started slaying slaves. And then they blame us for it. They're white when they gotta be. 1485, Verona, Italy, ritual murder. Verdana, Italy, ritual murder. Even though it doesn't say expelled, it's like, so what they expelled for? Was it money lending or ritual murder? Seems like ritual murder is like the hot topic now. 1486, Jews expelled after the Arbues affair, in which Jews had influenced the Marranos to act against Spain's interests. The king orders the sudden expulsion of Jews from the entire archbishopric as a foreshadowing of the final solution in 1492. Yeah. So what was their final solution? It was the same one as Hitler's final solution. Just get them out of here. Don't give a fuck where they go. They've been thrown out everywhere. Just get them out of here. And to think, back then, they didn't have lists like this. They didn't know all this was going on in all these other countries. So now people are like, oh, they got kicked out of 109 countries. It's like, whoa. 1,030 expulsions. Because when you're getting thrown out of these smaller areas back then, did they have a telephone? Did they, how did they contact each other? Unless they were doing the same damn thing. Expelled after a riot. Expelled after a bribe to Medici. Expelled for money lending after pogroms. Jews expelled on Christmas after pogrom. Jews expelled. Oh, it was Queen Isabella I of Castile. 1492. They're colonies of Spain. And what started in 1493 in Spain? Spain's golden age. Now do you see why the golden age means so much right now? So, we're giving them as much time as they need to reveal what they got to reveal, because right now is not a good time. Even though all of us want, it's like, well, we want it all now. You said first day and all that. It's like, has any of us gone in on our first day of work and completely upended the entire workplace? I haven't. I've never seen it either. So, guess as good as mine at that point. Expelled, arrested, imprisoned. Expelled due to preaching of Friar Bernardino. I mean, expelled. Italy, all expelled. All 1492. There's 1493. Because, well, where did Columbus set sail from? He came from Italy, then he hit Spain. So who were on the ships? Jews to be expelled bribed Alexander VI to stay. You know, the one that his kid was Caesar Borgia. You know, the one that was screwing his sister. And even he took the bait. Jews expelled for host desecration, Bell and Burnett. Well, that's the book. Desecration. Expelled because of propaganda. Expelled after French invasion. A lot of French invasion. They're like, hey, you guys got to go. I mean, Lithuania, Poland, Germany again, more Italy, Portugal, Slovenia, Austria, another Germany, Portugal, Venice, Italy, Salzburg, Germany. Just, and we're just now hitting the 1500s, guys. I mean, this is the madness it is. But yet, they all want to scream blood libel, blood libel, blood libel. Fucking blood libel, shitbag. It ain't working. Not at all. So, and now, one video. Oh yeah, Sats fan. That's the thing. You know, I get really creative, but in the end, God will be the judge. That's the beauty part about this. It's like, you know, we could sit here and say, oh, well, you know, that's why I don't say kill them all. It's like, no. No, don't give them an easy way out. Make them deal with the hand that they created for themselves. And yeah, there's no peace with them. They all think that we're goyim, that we're shitbags, that we're dirtballs, that we're just subhuman. We don't sit there and talk about anybody like that. We've never been like that. But where there's a problem, and I mean 1,030 places in the world since the beginning that, you know, what, 7-something BC? Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. But this is a quick video. It's 8 minutes, but it's about Martin Luther and who he didn't like. The more and more I read about this guy, the more and more I actually like him.
Theologian and key figure in the Protestant Reformation, known for his criticisms of the Catholic Church and his emphasis on salvation through faith alone. Luther urged reform of the Roman Catholic Church, protesting the sale of indulgences and other abuses. He nailed his 95 Theses to the door of the Castle Church in Wittenberg.
Now, I'll stop there because remember, he was against the sale of indulgences at the church. You know what the funny thing is? I believe it was Pope John the 23rd, the one that put on the Vatican II. I believe they brought the indulgences back into the church where people could pay their way to heaven. Well,
and Roman Catholic teaching. Luther called for reform. He didn't care for the Jews either. He said, set fire to their synagogues or schools. Jewish houses should be razed and destroyed, and Jewish prayer books and Talmudic writings in which such idolatry, lies, cursing, and blasphemy are taught should be taken from them. In addition, their rabbis should be forbidden to teach on pain of loss of life and limb. Luther also urged that safe conduct on the highways be abolished completely for the Jews, and that all cash and treasure of silver and gold be taken from them. What Jews could do was to have a flail, an axe, a hoe, a spade put into their hands so young, strong Jews and Jewesses could earn their bread in the sweat of their brow.
So like a curious traveler on a quest, we embark upon a journey of information. Stay with us for a ride into...
So I want to stop right there too. So when he mentioned that he wanted to put a rake, a shovel in their hands to have them do work, the funny thing is you won't catch them, any of them, doing any physical labor, will you? None. You won't.
Okay, let's talk about Martin Luther. Not the one that has the name King at the end of it. Martin Luther, the 16th century religious reformer. He was a confirmed disliker of those chosen ones. Now, at the beginning of his career, Martin Luther was apparently sympathetic to Jewish resistance to the Catholic Church. He described them as cousins and brothers of our Lord, acknowledged past mistreatment at the hands of Christians, and conceded that had he himself been Jewish and seen such idols and thick heads in charge of and teaching the Christian faith, he himself would not have been converted. In its time, it was perceived by both Christians and Jews as relatively tolerant. Now, some Catholic critics even called Lucifer a friend to Jews for writing that. However, he expected the Jews to convert to his purified Christianity, and when they didn't, he turned violently against them. In 1543, he published the following condemnation of the Jews and their lies, criticizing the doctrines and beliefs of Judaism. And here's what he said. I had made up my mind to write no more either about the Jews or against them. But since I learned that those miserable and accused people do not cease to lure to themselves even us, that is the Christians, I have published this little book so that I might be found among those who opposed such poisonous activities of the Jews and who warned the Christians to be on their guards against them. Now, I would not have believed that a Christian would be duped by the Jews into taking their exile and wretchedness upon himself. However, the devil is the god of the world, and whenever God's word is absent, he has an easy task, not only with the weak, but also with the strong. May God help us. It is not my purpose to quarrel with the Jews, nor to learn from them how they interpret or understand Scripture. I know all of that very well already. Much less do I propose to convert the Jews, for that is impossible. Those two excellent men, Lyra and Burgesses, together with others, truthfully described the Jews' vile interpretation for us 200 and 100 years ago respectively. Indeed, they refuted it thoroughly. However, this was not help at all to the Jews, and they have grown steadily worse. They have failed to learn any lesson from the terrible distress that has been theirs for over 1,400 years in exile, nor can they obtain any end or definite terminus of this, as they suppose, by means of their cries and laments to God. If these blows do not help, it is reasonable to assume that our talking and explaining will help even less. Therefore, a Christian should be content and not argue with the Jews. But if you have to, or want to talk with them, do not say any more than this. Listen, Jews, you are aware that Jerusalem and your sovereignty together with your temple and priesthood have been destroyed for over 1460 years. For this year, which we Christians write as the year 1542, since the birth of Christ, is exactly 1468 years, going on 1500 years, since Vespasius and Titus destroyed Jerusalem and expelled the Jews from the city. Let the Jews bite on this nut and dispute this question as long as they wish. In short, as has always been said, do not encourage much in debate with Jews about the articles of our faith. From their youth they have been so nurtured with venom and rancor against our Lord that there is no hope until they reach the point where their misery finally makes them pliable and they are forced to confess that the Messiah has come and that it is indeed our Jesus. Until such a time, it is much too easily, yes, it is useless to argue with them about how God is part of the Holy Trinity, how he became man, and how Mary is the mother of God. No human reason nor any human heart will ever grant these things, much less the venomous, blind heart of the Jews. Now, Martin Luther seriously believed Jesus was still part of the Old Testament, and that Jesus was the Son of Yahweh. Now, I don't for a minute believe that, and I don't for a minute want to convince the Jews that he was their Messiah, simply because he wasn't their Messiah, not the way they want him to be anyway. Now, there's no reason for us to even think about Jesus coming back when they say the Lord is coming back. They are speaking of Yahweh, that vengeful, wrathful, jealous, tribal deity of theirs, not our turn the other cheek, love your neighbor, Jesus. Martin Luther was right about some things, but Martin Luther was dead wrong about trying to categorize Jesus with the Jewish people. Just more food for thought.
Thanks for watching this.
How many warnings do we have to get throughout history to understand who the problem is? I'll wait. I mean, we have nothing but time. So which is it? You know, I mean, we see it happening day by day. I mean, it's getting pretty old right now. But, oh, you know what? One thing, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about this. Give me 1 second. All right. Now, irony has it that this video came out 3 days ago. It is a short video, but this one, especially after Sunday, we need to watch. We sent it to Phil. We had Phil watch it. How Israel and its American agents covered up Israel's attack on the USS Liberty. Came out 3 days ago.
Many of Johnson's closest friends and advisors were pro-Israeli. and they reported back to Tel Aviv on his every move. So sensitive were these communications that the Israelis used code names to protect the identity of their White House agents. But for the first time, the members of the ring can be named. Hamlet was $1 million fundraiser for the Democrats. When he rang, Johnson took his calls. He was Abe Feinberg. Menashe was Arthur Goldberg, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. The crucial intelligence came from Arthur Goldberg. He warned Tel Aviv that the United States had the audio tape which revealed Israeli pilots knew it was an American ship before they attacked. Harare was David Ginsburg, a high-profile Washington lawyer who also represented the Israeli embassy. Ilan was Supreme Court Justice Abe Fortas.
I'm Tom Hughes. I was State Department Director of Intelligence and Research at the time of the Liberty incident in '67. Johnson himself briefed Newsweek magazine off the record that the Israelis had attacked. The fact that Johnson himself was the leaker and briefer of Newsweek was soon leaked. And this alarmed, of course, the Israeli embassy and their leading friends in the Jewish organizations. The Israeli embassy regarded this as a major problem. What Johnson had told Newsweek practically amounted to blood libel.
Declassified Israeli documents show they were going to threaten President Johnson with blood libel, gross anti-Semitism, and that would end his political career.
Blackmail. This is Admiral Bobby R. Inman, U.S. Navy retired. I'm a former director of the National Security Agency. But they know if he is thinking about running again, he's going to need money for his campaign. Alleging that he's blood libeling is going to arouse Jewish donors.
The Israeli government hired teams of lawyers, some of whom were close friends of Lyndon Johnson, and began an all-out offensive. They lent on the media to kill critical stories and slanted others in favor of Israel. The U.S.-Israeli relationship proved to be stronger than the killing and injuring of more than 200 Americans. The following year, American aid to Israel increased fourfold, and President Johnson agreed a treaty, classified above top secret, with Israel for the mutual exchange of intelligence, an arrangement which is still in place today, codenamed Stone Ruby.
One of the things that bothers me is there wasn't a nice explanation of what went on. No one wants to talk about the why.
The big secret the Israelis wanted to protect was their next move. They had told the Americans that this was to be a limited war and not a land grab. But on June 8, 1967, their forces were poised to attack and seize the Golan Heights and invade Syria, something they wished to keep from the White House until they'd done it. The families still want answers from their government, which remains silent. The American government came up with a formula for the Israelis to compensate the widows and children for their loss. This included a payment for shock and mental anguish. The widows got $25,000, with $10,000 for each of their children over 5. An American government lawyer doubted that children under 5 could sufficiently comprehend the event to suffer.
So, Stone Ruby, huh? First time I ever heard about that. Well, the second time because I listened to the first time. But yeah, so Israel's been getting all of our intelligence through Johnson because he was a devout Jew. Johnson's not a Jewish name, but his mother was the Jew. You had to chase the maternal bloodlines. The more and more I learn about the Liberty, the more and more I just get fucking disgusted. I get disgusted with our government. I get disgusted with them trying to hide it all. And I find it a bit amusing that an American lawyer, yeah, okay, would say that, oh, anybody under 5, they wouldn't know, so they don't get a dime. But yet, here we are. Oh, my grandfather was in the Holocaust. Blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up already. You know, looks like they didn't kill anybody because, well, there's still a bunch out there with their bank accounts tattooed right on their forearm, and they brag about it. Because that's normal, you know, because if any of us were in a situation like that, I know for a fact I would do anything within my power to get that off me. But then you have to think. So if they were hell-bent on killing, right, and just slaughtering 6 million, which you couldn't do in that amount of time, let's face it, we already know that. Why would you bother putting tattoos on their arms? See, they didn't understand that there was going to be a thing called the internet. And that the internet was going to be accessible to everyone. All the information. So, there we have it. Because I think everybody by now can pinpoint Epstein as being, you know, CIA Mossad, because where do you think the CIA learned their shit? From the Mossad. And the IDF, because the IDF was formed out of 3 terrorist organizations. So, if they were formed out of 3 terrorist organizations, which were known terrorist organizations, then why do they have all these, you know, friends of the IDF ran out of New York City? I mean, all this shit, it doesn't make a bit of sense, right? Then, Trump came out yesterday, and he's like, Putin, I'm giving you 50 days. That's it. Right? Yet the funny thing is, said it yesterday, right? So when you add 50 days to 7/14, you get Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. Well, if September is the 9th month, and 9 plus 2 is 11, and your 2025 is a 9, this is all theater. The fight with Putin, all the fighting with Xi, it's all theater. That's all it is. Every bit of it, all theater. Oh, and I got a couple more because these are some of the ones I was going to show on the 13th, but we ran out of time. But this one, it's a shorty, so these are shorties. So this came out a month ago, right? It's by Ryan Long. It's Epstein jail footage. The editor explains why it hasn't been released yet. Man, even in humor, there's a shit ton of truth.
Conspiracy theories about why the footage proving Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself is taking so long to release. I think I should maybe do like a slow zoom here. And as the editor in charge of this project, I want to say that we're this close and perfection takes time. See, now I'm kind of liking the green. I spent 18 hours a day of the last 2 weeks working on color alone. White balancing a jail wall is hard as f***. That's kind of gritty, I like that. as a look. Hey Cash, Brian here. What if we just go black and white? Whether I'm color grading, perfecting the EQ on room tone, converting files. Maybe I'm crazy, but I just kind of like it with the crossfade. You know Apocalypse Now took more than 2 years to edit? I mean, what I really wanted to do was open the sequence up with a drone shot of the jail, but they've been sort of fighting me on that. I just want it to be perfect, you know? Basically, I do an export of where I'm at, send that off to the DOJ. They take a couple months, send their notes back to me. Better at saving now. I didn't have auto-save last week. I lost like 6 months of work. And that's standard for any production. Notes are a slow-moving process, especially when you have presidents involved, Congress people. There's a lot of cooks in this kitchen. And that's just our government. The foreign leaders take way longer. I spent a lot of last week rotoscoping out a spider that was driving me nuts on that wall. Okay, so I'm currently uploading a cut to Google Drive. Right now it says 7,452 hours remaining, but I find that speeds up as it goes. I'm also doing the best with what I had. Don't forget that multiple cameras accidentally malfunctioned that night. You know what would actually be fire if we could do like a split screen of the jail guard and the cell. Actually, how do you do a split screen? Believe it or not, you can find tutorials for almost anything on Google right now. Split screen, YouTube. Then the video from the backup camera was unusable due to technical errors, which... Well, that one was actually my fault. I put one of the SD cards through the wash. That just crashed. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take lunch. Also, these are government computers that haven't been updated in years, so rendering takes forever. I hired a guy on Fiverr to do some lower third title cards, but he's been ghosting me, so that's jamming me up a bit. The image stabilization takes about 12 hours to run, so right now I'm just waiting for that. By the way, it's actually pretty hard to sync audio when the camera was turned off for 6 hours. I mean, that's cool, right? What do you think about this for the background music? Kind of like a vibe, right? I don't know if we're gonna make the next deadline either, because I got this audio sync issue right now, and I'm leaving for a wedding tomorrow for a week and a half, which, by the way, I told them about that in advance. I did not spring that on them. I put in for that time in February. How do you get a Netflix documentary feel? Yeah, sure, I could just whip something up, but I'm sorry that I care about my craft. I can't decide whether I like it better this way or this way. Yeah, you can just flip it. It's like an effect. Oh, you need Bill Nye blurred out too? All right, well, that's gonna happen after the vacation.
So we were mentioning there's a lot of truth in comedy. Remember we were watching the Jesus Enrique Rosas, his breakdown, right? Well, when you look at his breakdown, isn't it funny they had that video editor up in the top right-hand corner and it disappeared after it went to 12 o'clock. But yet, nobody's explained to us who that person was in all black, head to toe, that they don't know who it is. If you're in a jail, wouldn't you have to be like visible on the camera to know who's coming through so that it's not another inmate dressed all in black? I know. Never ends. Never ends. There's one. Because I was watching Candace earlier, and she's mentioned about, everybody's noticing about Brad Macron, right? Well,
now let's.
This guy's awesome too. He's Dark Waters on YouTube, but this is just a clip of his. Now,
Let's just keep it real. Many of us understand body language. You tell me what you see right here, right now, in these men's face. I'll wait for you to comment. I won't sit here and I'm gonna wait. You tell me what you see in these dudes' face. Let me give you some music. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. What y'all see? What do you think they thinking about? This is Macron and his wife. Now, many of us understand body language.
Now, I know this is going to sound way fucked up and out of left field coming at you with this new thing about Carmelo Anthony. I don't know if anybody's heard this or not, my God, I can't. I have a hard time even saying it's a straight face. So, what they're saying is that he killed Austin Metcalf for making fun of him because they're saying that they were all at a pool party, and it seemed that when girl Carmelo Anthony came out of the water, all the girls were ridiculing him because they're called, oh, he's blessed, he's blessed, he's blessed. And that hurt his feelings. Yeah, you heard that right. That's their go-to now. So the only way that he could actually get off of this, I told Dean about it the other night. I'm like, there's only one way to get off this. Is that if he has a sharpening stone attached to his dick that he just whips out and he sharpens knives with. Other than that, we're not buying a bit of it. So maybe that's the route that Brigitte should go. Maybe. Let's see. According to wire report, upstairs prison view, he released 3 minutes missing after one previous. Yeah. Because that whole first part, I don't even think that was from that day at all. At all. Because when we watched it, remember we watched it on here when he had it on the screen, and we're just like, okay, well, everybody's worried about the minute missing, but not about the video editor up in the corner. You can plainly see they cut down, but they couldn't cut it all the way down because they would have cut out the numbers up in the upper left-hand corner. They cut everything they could out of there, and as soon as it turned 12 o'clock, gone. It's stupid. It is. I mean, it's just so like, oh. Like, I understand how people are losing their shit because we literally dug as far, not as far as we're gonna go, but as far as we're gone now, and it only makes sense because when you start putting it all together and seeing how everybody's flipping their shit, it's like appear weak when you're strong. So like, oh, this Epstein character, didn't even die. It says all over a guy who never dies. Jeffrey Epstein never dies, huh? So what is Jeffrey Epstein exactly? Is he a vampire? Lizard? Because as we went over before, they try to say, oh, this was a picture of Epstein when they rolled him out of the Metropolitan Prison. It's like, that's not him. That's Anthony Bourdain. Why don't you cut it out? That's all. Cut the shit. But they can't. They always have to keep on doing this shit. And it's really just, it gets to a point where, they make up 0.2% of the world's population, but yet they're causing pretty much all the problems. So I do have one more I'm going to show here, and then we'll get to some tunes, get a couple songs in. I mean, I'm fucking wiped. I ain't going to lie. Why not go to Chile and configure software, cloud, and such? What? And I'm just saying, what if? Because remember, they were telling us, like when we look at these intelligence agencies, 51, right? How many of the 51 are actually military intelligence? It's a good question, but that's why military is the only way. Military intelligence, we trust our military. I mean, they're the ones that are saving our ass. So, by them saying they have everything, they said they had everything a long time ago. Well, then we looked at the whole Ray and Huber and how Pompeo and all this. It's like, yeah, it's plausible deniability. We don't have it. We don't know where it is. Right? So we look at the Epstein case, the Diddy case, and all this. Why were they really wanting to get Diddy out? Right? Oh, fucking more flooding in North Carolina. Jesus, man, come on. Oh, geez. They're just fuckers. So this one, it's 10 minutes long. And if you guys want to get your songs in too, got it. Why Jewish elites keep the Talmud hidden from Gentiles.
A grown-up man has intercourse with a less than 3 years old, and they're not condemning this. Or if a young boy less than 9 years old has had with a grown woman. In each of these cases, the woman is entitled to a ketubah of 200 denarim when she marries. Okay, and you can keep on reading there.
And now let's get into the Talmud, which describes and permits the abuse of children by the Jews. This is a fundamental and core part of their belief. Here we go.
Codified their oral traditions into the Babylonian Talmud, the written form of that oral tradition which Jesus so bitterly rebuked. The Talmud reveals how deep was Israel's apostasy. In her beginning, God gave the Hebrews the loftiest, the most upright literature and ethics the world has ever known. Yet when they turned their backs on him, they produced the Talmud, a work which has aptly been called a monument to human folly. The Talmud also helps us understand the basis for Christ's unflattering descriptions of the Pharisees.
Jesus described the Pharisees as hypocrites, children of hell, blind guides, whited sepulchres, full of dead men's bones. He even described the Pharisees as children of their father the devil, a murderer from the beginning. The Talmud confirms Christ's words.
So it's important to understand. So some of you may hear the term Pharisees and might be like, Pharaoh, what? Pharaoh, who? Well, the Pharisees are a prominent Jewish religious group during the times of Jesus. So these are Jews, in other words. So when he's describing the Pharisees and their wickedness, he's essentially describing the wickedness of the Jewish people. And this is precisely why you have to have the Schofield Bible, which attempts to clean up the image of the Jews such that the American Christian will favor them even at our own expense. But let's carry on with the Talmud. And the Talmud acknowledges that Jesus had some pretty rough words for the Pharisees and the Jews.
In the Talmud, in Treatise Sanhedrin, an extensive passage describes the right of the Pharisee to kill anyone, just as long as he did so indirectly. As one of dozens of examples.
I just want to note that it said the right of the Pharisee to kill anyone, the right, like they have the right to kill.
The Talmud tells us that if one bound his neighbor and he died of starvation, he is not liable to execution. In such an indirect manner, the Pharisees also killed Christ. Manipulating the Romans to actually wield the spear and sword, the Pharisees claimed, as their descendants do today, that since the Romans were the direct cause of the death of Christ, it is the Romans, not the Jews, who are guilty.
I want you to ask yourself, how does this seem familiar? The the Pharisees got a stronger power, the Romans, a bigger group, the Romans, to kill Jesus on their behalf. Sounds very familiar. Israel get the United States to kill the Iranians on their behalf. Aha! Nothing has changed. Fascinating. Okay. I think I understand.
Christ also called the Pharisees adulterers, an adulterous generation. The Talmud provides generous loopholes for adultery. It says the penalty for adultery does not include sex with a minor, the wife of a minor, or the wife of a heathen. The Talmud also encourages seduction of unwed adolescent girls called designated bondmaids. But it's important how such rapes are performed.
Whoa.
With the designated bondmaid,
Whoa.
one is guilty only in the case of natural connection, but not in the case of perverse connection. The Pharisees reasoned that rape in a perverted manner is outside the jurisdiction of the law. Normal rape, however, was punishable.
Now, there was a lot that was just said there. There was a lot. So, number one, it was stated that minors are fair game. The Jews can deal with minors. And it was also stated that the RAPE could be enacted upon individuals, minors or females, males as well, male minors as well, under certain circumstances. It's just all good. So you really have to understand the level of evil that these people practice and believe in. And that's why they never get brought to justice, is because they're doing evil. And one, they've infiltrated our government, our justice system. They are the judges, they are the lawyers, they are the politicians. But when you have a book that is still a core book in Judaism, and it's telling you that you can commit these heinous acts, and we know they condone it, because that's why Americans who abuse children flee to Israel, and they're protected there, because it is a part of their religious law that it's okay. Come on now. It's sick, right? And that's precisely why I tell you guys that as one who respects God and goodness, it saddens me that religion is so often bent to the will of the wicked, and it's bent for their profit. I'm saying their profit, meaning money, their gain of property, their gain of assets. So we have to actually be fundamentally suspicious of religion, because people are using it as a tool to do so much evil. But on the other side, are we seeing that religion is countering the evil? I wish I could say that it was. Do we see that the Muslim Ummah is united and fighting this? Do we see that the Deen of Islam has all of the Muslims coming together? Indonesia is an enormous Muslim country, silent, ineffective, inactive. You see, if religion was being used for good, scarcely the Zionists would not have a chance, because they're woefully outnumbered. But we see that religion seems to be perhaps a greater tool of evil. You look at the Holy Land of Saudi Arabia, and these people that are supposed to be in the epicenter of Islam, they seem to be concerned more so with decadence and building out infrastructure for being the entertainment capital of the world. What's the current entertainment capital of the world? It's called Las Vegas, Sin City. I used to live there for about 5 years almost. And in this place, entertainment comes with drugs. Entertainment comes with women of the night. Entertainment comes with all of these filthy things. So how is it that Saudi Arabia, the Holy Land, is trying to become the entertainment capital of the world? Because they've been poisoned by money. And this is not a new concept, though it may be new to you. And this is precisely why they prioritize money over God. And they're in complete violation of the Deen of Islam. And because so many of the Muslim countries do not follow Quran, they follow the West, they follow the money. And that is why it's so easy for the wicked to triumph, because the believers are not really believers. We often call some of the Jews a synagogue of Satan and say that they are the fakers. But do we not look at the Sheikh bin Zayed Mohammed Salalala Balalala, who's running UAE or Dubai or Saudi or Oman and all of these people, and not accuse them of the same thing? Are they maybe of the synagogue of Satan? because there's such a huge gap between the rulers of Egypt, the rulers of Morocco, the rulers of Turkey, and the people. The people don't condone anything that's going on in Palestine, but their governments don't represent them very well. And despite all of the ill things we can say about Shia Islam, and I've never been a Shia, but they seem to be the only ones that are game to deal with this great human wrong. You guys notice that? Curious, isn't it? May I acknowledge Cole? He writes, Errol Musk said Benjamin Netanyahu is like a family friend. All these weirdos are connected. Keep speaking the truth. Oh, absolutely. And let us all remember that Errol Musk is one who abuses children. He got his own stepdaughter pregnant. Yes, indeed. That's a fact. And this goes perfectly in line in what is permissible in the state of Israel, which is they harbor people who abuse children. And the Talmud, clearly in ink, points out that it is legal and it is actually favorable to abuse minors in certain ways.
Hey, he's not lying. He ain't lying. I just gotta check one thing. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Cute. Oh, so I forgot one part of this. The 713s. Because there was a hidden one. Hidden because it was hidden in a name. Isn't it funny that Ghislaine Maxwell said that she'll testify in front of Congress, right? Now people are like, oh, well, you know, she's trying to get a plea deal. No, I didn't hear anything about that. If you keep her locked up for 20 years in a minimum security prison, whatever, she's being watched, all this, to bring everybody else down, she's still serving her time. She's got to deal with her maker. But we want everybody that's on that list. Because who would know more than her? So, the G's a 7, the M is a 13. It's another 713. Now, when they say August is a hot month, now hot can mean a lot of things. But what about her own testimony? I mean, oh, and all the stuff in Spain and France. Spain they're pissed because they brought all these illegals in, right? And now they're trying to pretty much seize everything. You count the Indians on that too. They're in on it as well. Let's see. So, oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, let's see. And so we do have a couple songs coming up. Yeah, I mean, she does look a bit different. But, I mean, I guess prison will do that to you. But also, we have to remember that a lot of these people have already been taken off the board. Because when we start looking at, especially New York Post, how they're saying that, oh, well, this house went up for sale. These people's house went up for sale. This went up for sale. It's like, well, if you're going to tell us who's knocked off the board, what better way to tell us than through real estate deals? Since Trump is up there with real estate. So just cross-check. These people are just selling their house out of just no reason. So, which is it? All right, so we got our first one coming up right now.
Weeping willows giving shade. Underneath the trees I am safe. I am, I It's just me in my garden with the birds and the leaves. I am someone under the sun. I am breathing, I am free. Morning glories on the vine, oh, they're singing to me. Oh, I'm planted in my garden, don't think I will ever leave. It's just me in my garden with the birds and the leaves. I am someone under the sun. I am breathing, I am free. Morning glories on the vine, oh, they're singing to me. Oh, I'm planted in my garden, don't think I will ever leave. I love the long days, don't want summer running away. Weeping willows giving shade. Underneath the trees I am safe. I am, I It's just trees. I am safe. I am, I It's just me in my garden with the birds and the leaves. I am someone under the sun. I am breathing, I am free. Morning glories on the vine, oh, they're singing to me. Oh, I'm planted in my garden, don't think I will ever leave. It's just me in my garden with the birds and the leaves. I am someone under the sun. I am breathing, I am free. Morning glories on the vine, oh, they're singing to me. Oh, I'm planted in my garden, don't think I will ever leave. I love the long days, don't want summer running away. Weeping willows giving shade underneath the trees. I am safe. I am, I It's just
some awesome. I mean, all of them. I mean, every one of the songs that were requested were bangers. So yeah, want to thank everybody for coming in. Be back again tomorrow. Well, on Cracker Pit, and it might be out tomorrow night or Thursday morning, afternoon. So definitely watch for that. And we'll be back again Thursday with a lot more because it seems like it never ends. So want to thank everybody for coming in. Everybody on YouTube, we love you guys, and definitely because next time I'm gonna figure this out where I can put the YouTube chat up as well, so I can watch that because Dina watches the YouTube chat, but then I could check out both. So we'll see how that'll go. But want to thank everybody for spending their time with us, and don't forget your Pet Club 24. Definitely check out their site. I mean, their stuff is phenomenal. Phenomenal. So we will catch you again Thursday. Bye, guys.